What's a year face?
Here.
Yeah. Because what a year. Here we are. Starfinder survived 2020.
Yeah, you know, it's
Priorities, you know.
to paraphrase the Great Lights, from down this low, it's only up we go.
Sure, yeah. I was wondering how much of that I had to redact on the fly, but no, good. Like,
Or
no, no.
Things can only get better.
Oh dear.
Things can only get better.
For less than 30 seconds.
Oh, look,
Oh dear.
the only way is down if you're standing on your head.
Or in the right company.
Or forward.
Or backwards.
Yeah, there's
Over the Irish Sea?
I'll be honest, there are multiple potential routes.
The sheer potential vectors available to you in this new year. Happy New Year, everybody! There you go.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, everybody who has decided to stick with us. Somehow.
You fools!
Yep, it's a new year and entirely new Starfinder. Imagine we just started.
It's a brand new day.
Oh, yeah. Maybe this should have been the cut-off for it. Maybe we should just have done Star Wars today. Maybe that's something we should have done.
Maybe that is the twist.
Yeah.
Graham Garber removes his mask and he's one of the people from the bar in Moss Eisley.
I don't know if your stream's frozen, but it's frozen for me.
It's alright for me.
No, it's just you, buddy.
Oh my god, no.
Oh, there we go, fixed it.
I know what happens. Weird walks into a bar and they're like, we don't serve his kind here.
And we just slowly transition our way into Star Wars, like scene by scene, where we just slowly, each scene we remove an element of Starfinder. Yeah.
And then we find a crashed statue of Palpatine somewhere in Akaton, and they're like cuts to our shot faces going, it was Star Wars all along! Anyway.
And then the Star Wars logo pops up, the music blares and bursts over these eardrums, and then the credit scroll comes up, and it has the, in a galaxy far, far away.
That's how Prometheus should have ended.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, but before we get into that... Yes, that's right, everybody at home. New year and same bastards. Send help.
Hey, leave me with this, man.
No!
Leave me with this.
Because then it's me with them, Nico.
What, do you want me to stop these fucking hooligans, man?
Yes, this is why you were the captain.
Years, man.
Wait till I'm the captain, I'll have these reprobates in order.
I'm excited to see your captaincy.
For the consequences, man. Like,
I hope he's all strapped in.
Rather than like a proto face hugger coming out.
Oh god, why is he still talking about years of it? I mean,
right?
a baby Mogwai, yep, coddled by some kind of metal encased warrior zealot. There we go, yep. Something about sharing his face, yeah, okay. Now I see where you're going.
And then
Daddy issues, yep.
Then they could turn to the camera and say, remember the 80s? When there were films?
New films, not just redone films,
This
yeah.
endless fucking shit.
Anyway, so, welcome to Starfinder, the Fragments of Eternity, session 82. Let that sink in, people. Considering this is the intro, let that sink in. It's the 4th of January, 2021. Which is weird to say, because I feel like I'm in sci-fi now, in real life. But here we are. Here are the players, still.
what is the order of things? I am the order of things. Oh, I am Nico.
The order of things, Diora.
The order. The abyss. The order.
He is Nico, and he is the order of things, and the voice of feminism.
The voice of feminism was
Colin, I will be playing Michael Quint. He is your sneaky, spooky, altogether, currently not entirely cookie, more.
More than va.
Anyway, yeah, more than oh no, that came out the wrong way. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Alex. Welcome to 2021. I will be playing Weird, the Android mechanic / Bruce Springsteen impersonator.
Perfect. I'll hold you to that.
That's his character arc.
I'll hold you to it as well, mate. Man. Right.
With these new legs, he truly is born to run.
I mean, gallop, surely, right? But anyway, yeah, sorry. Continue.
Ah, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to a new year and a new Zig.
Mhm.
I'm Callum, who will be playing said Zig. And there's nothing new about him. He's the same as he was before last year.
Just got a new title, right? Said Zig.
I mean, but you're not the same Zig, are you?
I put it as Zed Sig,
Yeah.
and I've been playing too much Digimon stuff.
Yeah,
lately.
Zed Zig. Zig, did you evolve too? Zed Zig.
Seeing as I've
Like
played
in
this
the
metal
past.
Weirdmon.
Thus speaks Zig.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
A healthy dose of everything that we just said. So those at home, pick out your favourite parts of whatever that mess was and post the comments below. Wherever they are.
We
Beyond that.
should run a session that's essentially just a giant Mad Lib, and everyone has to fill in their own adjectives, verbs, and nouns. And
I don't even know what these words are, mate.
Also, Callum,
Fine, we
it's called
didn't all-
DMing. Like,
we didn't all get an English degree. I mean, I
Oh.
did. We didn't all.
well, could you just go back and get the rest of us then? And then that way we wouldn't have to.
I would, but currently university is illegal.
Yeah, this is true. Most things are illegal now. Okay.
Not Which yet?
Not yet, but to be honest, soon, given the
Should
way
be.
the laws are going. But enough about possible TOS breaches. I don't even know what I'm allowed to say anymore this year. But anyway, so what do you remember
it's-
from last time?
Only fan.
What do I remember from last time? I made a spaceship captain.
I never said last week.
Oh,
You did make a spaceship captain.
I made a mechanic, actually,
Yeah.
like an engineer.
Telling you though, if
I
you
didn't
if,
show up,
if you
so-
if you take back that starship captain, I'm removing your rank and privileges, Alex. Just saying.
Oh, no.
Like, you
Is,
need, you
right,
need to
so
keep it.
is
can I just be a spaceship owner?
did you
Yes.
promote spaceship?
That's what I'll be. Like, that's what I'm basically. I'm a spaceship owner. And-
I think you
what
were a
last
spaceship
time?
owner. I think that's the problem.
No, wait, what have you done to my ship?
So
Nothing.
the 11th hour has long since been at rest.
I'll take the final hour, right? I'll turn that into my ship, and like.
So you're saying you're a spaceship thief, then,
Like, Matt
right?
was getting that
Let's credit
back.
it, spaceship thief.
This is my fucking ship now. She gave me it. Like,
Oh dear. Yeah, I suppose Vesk law is about how big you are. So, yeah. I mean, yes, we understand that he broke into your house and stole all of your Barbie collection. However, he's taller.
Let him. You fool.
Yes, he is taller. So they're now his Barbies. Oh dear. Perhaps if you were less of a bitch about it, he'd let you visit them. So, anyway, Vesk Law 101. This is what we're going to do. This is the new lore. We're just going to do a Vesk legal drama. Now,
I'd watch that.
I also would watch this, but I feel like I'm going to have to write the fucker. So, anyway, please
I
continue.
will have a couple of episodes of that at some point, I'm sure.
Oh dear. Vesk actors, what even would they be like? Angry?
That's a good question.
Prima donnas, yeah. Arnie, yeah, that's
But you
fair.
know
Right?
what? Arnie's slightly too good. Arnie is actually. He really wants to act.
I think it's because,
Despite himself.
yeah, like at his core, he's kind of just a ball of joy because his life is farcical, right? Like it's a wonder the journey he has been on. So, but anyway, back to the what you remember from last time.
Listen,
Right, so this is the part where you catch Nico up so that you don't all, it doesn't all go to shit.
I had an idea.
What's
Right, so remember, Nico's last information will have been Query and Zig talking at the outdoor burger van thing.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay. So all that happened. Okay, right.
It did happen. Yes. None of it was. A dream.
So
I'm so
we
sorry.
had that little chat with Query that went really well. I'm sure. Oh yes! Oh my god! I forgot all about this. That was a really good session.
yeah, I
Okay,
know.
It's funny how you just need like a little kick in the right direction. So Lyko had this wonderful idea of going to Grinning Durwas and getting Query to either to basically like just rip Grinning Durwas' head off, I assume was the plan.
Sort of. Yeah.
Turns out that Query is selectively just a big pussy. So and he just got stomped on, and that's it. That was the session.
That was the most
Grinning
abridged
Durwas.
recap of the session. Yeah,
So
fair.
Grin and Durwa stomped Query. Is that what I just
Yeah.
said?
So,
Broke his leg, stomped on him.
Colin, do you want to add in any necessary details, perhaps, to give the captain some context?
No.
Why
Okay.
is Grin and Durwa in this?
So I was watching a bit, seeing what he was up to, and I said to him, "Look, I calmed Zeg actually. It started off to Zeg like going, look, I have an idea. Why don't we do this? I think I can get on board. Where are you now? Isn't that convenient? You know, that's not quite the order of events, but it's like Sig was there in the establishment run by Gringer. So he said, look, approach him and see we've got potentially valuable asset for him or something to that effect. And I approached Weary, who looks very much like what Durbo remembers Nyx looking like, much more than Weird looks like Nyx. So it's like, right, yes, I've been following you for a little bit. Can you assist us with this? We have someone who would like very much to capture Weird, but doesn't know, what has happened to Weird in the meantime. So you would be a perfect decoy, and we can get the money, and then, And he was like, "Oh, you want me to do my thing?" And I was like, yeah, in mine. And there was an implication, an understanding that maybe he would make a repeat of his performance in the interview chamber, where he was able to bare-handed rip a head off a human being or human-like being, and then escape from a ship full of cops. But what he actually did was put on a really over-the-top performance and then get jumped on. I feel bad because I dragged him into this position, but equally, I don't think he played that right. I think it was a bad call, and he should have done it better.
So
Yep,
does that
I'm
not
not
make
sure
sense
how
to
it is.
anything? Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
His legs have been broken.
Yeah, leg, certainly.
Do I bring that one? We get after that. Just like, I don't know.
Look,
The wheels. I'm just joking.
They're your NPCs, Ryan. You break them. You made them.
You technically, he's right there, right? That was by NPC on NPC violence.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I feel like if you're going to deliver one person who is wanted by another person, that's on you for being the delivery. So
Yeah, I did nothing.
But also, it's on him for being stupid enough to think that was a good idea.
I mean, he didn't know the history between Durwa and.
To be fair, neither did I. I
Which
only
is
knew it wasn't.
that's on you, I think, right?
Yeah, you probably should have asked about, what's this guy like?
Mm.
What's the...
Yeah.
There's a lot of blame to go around.
Luckily.
It's obviously all my fault, right? Right, it's all my
I mean,
fault.
ultimately, you're the captain, so the talk to you.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's my fault, right?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're the one
bad,
that should have the liability insurance.
my bad.
Mm.
My
I mean, he's not even the captain. Actually, it's even worse. He's the admiral. Like it's it's more.
Police and order.
Yeah, like it's he's more of an umbrella.
Well, you're as good as the people either side of the year, I guess.
So, Weird, do you want to catch him up on what you did and will do?
So I've got new legs.
Nice one. Nice
I'm
one.
going to be updating my armor to accommodate new legs. Anything else? Oh yeah, and I struck a business deal with Tenida
Oh, nice.
to turn part of her pleasure yacht into a probably legal exclusive cybernetic surgery department.
Oh my god. So, libs and odds is going to be a thing. / the body hole / bone
Yes.
brain beyond / limbo. Good. Good.
So that is
All of the above, just different planets. Just
yes.
Like,
Well, we need to keep changing the name depending on whether the regulators catch up with us.
yeah, true.
No, I think by this point, Warren G is dead.
Anyway,
Nate Dogg, to be clear.
oh, the
That
joys.
was an excellent joke, and none of you like. Well, Ryan chuckled all
I
that.
did. I chuckled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I missed it.
it's fine. So, is there anything else you need to inform the Admiral of?
Oh.
Right, sorry, re-remind me.
Well, why don't you tell us what you've got? What did you get?
Right.
What happened last time?
Why did what's his face attack? What's his face?
Oh, we're doing well so far.
Why did fucking Query attack Grin and Durva?
Query didn't.
Right, just Durva just said about him. Okay, right.
Yeah, well, we sort of handed him over and went, "Here you go." Well,
A
like he
gift!
did.
This droid!
And,
And then
he went,
you
"Haha!" and stood on him.
Wait, what? I obviously did miss a lot of this. Right, why did you give Query to Durva? Why was Durva even here? Why was he
So,
an option?
Zig was hanging out at Durwa's place just to chill out and kill time because Lyko, Zig assumed Lyko was going to take ages going to speak with Ramasethu, but he took no time at all and was spying on Zig. And we were kind of just, you were. And, on Query, and I was with Query at the time. And then we went separate ways, and Lyko tailed Query, and we started chatting over comms and was like, oh, I have an idea. And that was it.
It was a terrible idea.
It's a great idea.
It was an idea. Wait, no. It was an idea that we followed through with, and that is something.
To be fair, it's the sort of idea I would have suggested too.
there
But
were a lot less bombs though with
There
this
was one
one.
point. There was one point where I was like,
Terrible idea.
I wish we had a bomb.
No, you're right. It was a bad idea because we should have had.
A bomb.
I've been telling you guys for ages, everything is better with bombs.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like this is the entire Jabba's palace scene, right? Where obviously, C-3PO delivers himself as a gift and regrets it, and then Leia turns up. Spoiler alert! Everybody, it was Leia. Turns up and has a thermal detonator.
The person in the visor was Leia.
So,
Which is why it's really upsetting in all those novels later on when the men mansplain thermal detonators to Leia, even though she's the only one in the films that ever used one.
she's also just like one of the most competent people in the entire franchise. Actually,
Not in the book. She's just a racist, spoiled princess then, who hates
Fantastic.
aliens despite being the ambassador.
were most of those writers of those novels men?
Yes.
Oh, that's odd.
No. They were aliens, obviously.
I said most of the women also didn't want to even use her because nobody seemed to use her well in any of the books. But no, the men were particularly sleazy about it,
Yeah.
which is why I struggled to get along with Farlene because she's all using pheromones to seduce her is
Yeah.
not good.
Sizor has his own issues. The entire
And
Fallen
just-
race.
I feel like if you're not going to have Carrie Fisher, what's the point in having Leia?
Yeah.
Right, not like Mark Hamill, who, God bless him, Mark Hamill is a non-entity in the Star Wars films.
Wow.
You can't even move his face in 2 out of 3 of his appearances. More than that,
Wow.
right?
Wow. Poor Mark.
I guess that's why the cast
Wow.
thingy in the prequels as Vader. Like maybe George Lucas decided the inability to emote facially was like a hurtful thing in the Skywalker line.
I mean, arguably, it
Mm.
might just have been the brattiness, because obviously episode 1, I say episode 1, look, fuck's sake, episode 4, look, and most of Anakin are perfect, actually. as
I actually think
Anakin.
Anakin has acted about as well as he could be in that. I was just making a really tasteless joke.
Yeah, I know. But I was willing to defend Damakin Skywalker. So, beside...
He acts his butt off in that horrific role.
Yeah, like, a lot of them took it really seriously, and I feel for them. But anyway, back to this game. Anything else, question-wise, Admirali?
So, did it end on just query breaking? What was the outcome of that?
Yeah.
That was that.
There was something slightly more that happened. You were paid for your travesty.
Okay.
I mean, I wasn't paid for my. I was paid for successfully bringing someone who he thinks, and in a sense, actually is next to him.
So you. Right.
I was paid for a job well done, but from my perspective,
The Jedi were evil.
Did we sell it query?
No, Lyco did.
Yes, but to be
And
fair,
Zig
I got
helped.
him on the side here.
Did we care?
Yeah, because I don't know.
Okay.
There
The
could be
Veskin me
bad
doesn't it? But
consequences.
like.
There could be bad consequences for like.
I think our options are, you know, I think the danger is that Grinning Durrell will keep him alive.
Do we need to
and
kill
sell
Granny Durwa?
secrets.
We
Yeah.
either need to keep him
It's a
with
raiding
us
order.
or keep him dead.
It's a raiding order.
Well, we were talking about maybe getting you to blow up the place from orbit. How would you?
I
feel
was thinking about that. Like, literally, do we need
Good,
to
but
go
it's the best
bombardment?
way.
No, the best
I
way
mean,
is for him
does
to
that not
single-handedly
kill-
drop himself out of the ship and then take them all on single-handedly.
I'm sure a wee bit of bombardment's fine, right? I mean, like,
Arguably,
Leave
Alice
that.
has already leaned on the button that launched the missiles, so... You know.
so I mean, but what happens to query if we like bomb them? So, like,
It's not so much that, it's what happens to Hive Market, is
yeah,
the question.
I mean, if it was, I was
Yeah.
going to ask how remote is the place, right? Because I've not got it bombed. I've got a image to upload
What's in
here,
orbit
like,
of the planet that isn't just the Found Lover, Nico?
a fucking bone bitch, fucking
And-
bone
and-
fleet, whatever the fuck they're called. I can't
The
remember.
corpse
Guy
fleet.
of the storm.
Corpse fleet.
And the calm before the storm.
And before the storm, the fucking
Yeah,
The Maya Mortal.
right, so maybe just maybe just go like ham into the place instead. You know,
But we'll need to contact you because you don't
it's
know.
a bunch of fucking Akatonian rebels, man. We're like trained.
And yet!
Say that. I think.
Wait, let me have my moment. This is confidence here, right? Like,
So, does anyone want to tell them the part where obviously using Query had kind of agreed to work together? No? We're all skipping that part? Yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah, we did, but I mean, he agreed to go along with my stupid plan too. So
I mean,
I guess that gives him some points. Eh?
probably should get Query back, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming this was like a heist, right? I'm assuming this was like a sort of ha ha ha, we're gonna get you, take your body, and get away, but nah, it didn't work, right?
it may have gone wrong, and you're our backup plan.
Lyco didn't know how much he was getting for this. He just handed him over because, if you remember way back when, Grinning Durwa said, "Go be useful." Then, and that was it. There was no instructions from Grinning Durwa other than when Lyco first chatted to him. He says, "Okay, prove you're useful," and then Lyco left, and that was it.
Get
'Cause
something with the cavalry, and that is CC in America.
Well, that's what I was thinking. You CC Alice, and I've got a transaction from them on my com. I think like give that information to CC. You could probably do some interesting shit.
I mean, if it was remote enough, though, I would have bombarded, right? I was actually thinking that, but I'm not going to do it in the city, right? That's stupid. That's a problem with the I could maybe explain myself to like the what's the name of the ship again?
the calm before the storm.
I just had a.
Calm Before the Storm. Thank you.
It's the most well-named ship in the game. I think.
Okay, right, and I'm not saying we go with this idea. We have the weapon.
No, you don't.
I'm not doing that.
Is that
We're
what
known threat to all of
You
Hive
don't-
Market.
No, because you gave it to the stewards.
That's probably wise. Yeah, so we did.
Remember, then they went to collect
I
it
love
from
where you're
the
going
Azure
with that
Flare.
now.
They went to
Yeah,
collect
yeah,
it from the
remember
Azure
that.
Flare, and then the entire query thing happened.
Yeah, I
Did
do
do that.
recall. Yeah.
And the only other
I
part
wanna
of the
do that
sample was
anyway.
in the airlock of the Kivalari, which is arguably still there.
That's a terrible idea.
I
It isn't a good idea.
That's
but-
like you're trying to create like fucking Space Raccoon City.
You fake a weapons malfunction, and that's your excuse. Sorry.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. I would have an excuse, but I'm not fucking bombing a city. Like, I'm not.
The
I wouldn't
Yosoki
do
were
that.
dying anyway. It's okay.
It's not just this
Wow.
okay that are in the hive mark. Oh my god.
This is the only
This
one
is
that matters.
Bianca
Come
Fane
on.
all over again, Zig.
Okay. What are our options?
Bianca, no.
Well, let's segue right into goals then, right? So,
Oh, yeah,
and let's
goals.
have the options conversation tied in with that. So the goals as they stand. Read me your goals, folks.
Meet with Damogesh after Eox to gain leverage on the Kren.
So, how relevant is that, guys? At the moment, is there more pressing things
very.
that could be?
Not pressing.
Not very, but I mean, what would I change it to other than
Well, what would you
get
like to
these
achieve this week?
idiots out of this mess?
Yeah, get my beloved crew. Deal.
Because keep in mind,
Save
we need to resolve the query problem, right? Or abandon it, and then time skip to catch up to where Weird is 2 weeks in the future, making deals with Zenaida.
That's true.
Yes.
We should
That's true.
just like
This is what happens when you go under,
cinema
by the way.
swipe and just cut to that bit where Lyko, Query, and Zig are just standing at the bar,
Well, not
having
standing, eh?
drinking, going, "Oh, that was."
How
That was
about how about we just leave Query and Grin and Dulwa's grubby horns for 2 weeks and then we go save him after what's his face?
I
Fucking
don't think
weird.
he's gonna be
is it?
alive then.
after
I think
our
my
mobile
concern,
assault unit comes out of operation.
my concern with this,
Your weapons
right, is
platform.
in the meantime, maybe he's been sold on to MO, or been killed, or I don't know, somehow instigated something terrible.
So what does Query know about you guys?
Enough to be
Too
dangerous.
much.
So, and you don't want MO to get him, and do you think you can keep him out of MO's hands better than Grinning Durwa?
Is that his
But would
face?
Grinning Durban, perhaps on realizing what he has, be pissed off at us? Probably. Because he would know then that we knew.
Yeah, so arguably him. There you go, I fixed it.
We have to kill Grinning Durban.
I was clicked on it and I clicked away, so I think I screwed
It's just the E is a U, that's all.
it. Cool. I'll change it.
This is when I just see every E in there get changed to a U. I'm like, oh god, no. This sentence. Yeah, perfect. Grinning Durwa. Wonderful Kasathan Christopher Judge. So, right. So the battle plan is you have the situation where you get two people in the, the not cantina, right? But it might be an open air tavern. Now it's a cantina. You get two people in the cantina from the crew, arguably three if Query's included, which you seem to have been by those two that are in there, since they both agreed that they are willing to trust Query as long as he could prove he was trustworthy, and then Lyko conned him into doing this, and he agreed to say, if this will prove that I'm trustworthy, why the hell not? Let's see what happens. And then, yeah, that's how that happened. So, arguably there's some weight to them doing what they're doing. And then there is the rest of it all. So we've got...
Retrieve Syndeo's Electroencephalon.
Mhm.
Which I think is the next arc, really.
Mhm.
So I don't know. With Retrieve Query from Grinning Durba having taken Dora's slot, I don't know if it's necessarily worth. Sorry.
Wow.
I yawned and coughed at the same time. I apologize.
This is painful.
We'll just need to get you an
Fine.
audio receptor for the mute as well, because wow,
Hey,
so
I'm
let's get some
so
honey
sorry.
for your throat. It's okay, get some,
Very quickly. That's what she said. No, I don't know how worthwhile it is taking Retrieve Syndio's Electroencephalon out, because I think that's probably going to come up straight after the Grinning Durwa thing. So
It's also up to you, because do you have any other goals that are not retrieve query from Grinning Durwa that would happen before EOX? Because if not, then yeah, you may as well keep it.
Anything more pressing.
Cool. Right, weird.
Pursuing my business.
Mhm.
I'm happy with where I'm at with that.
Cool. You're doing well, having been unconscious in the present
It's getting
timeline.
there. It's getting there.
Zig?
Speak with Nida about Vault and gain access. Seen her for ages. Sadness.
I mean, fair, I think. Like, I think it was several hours ago you saw her, but okay.
I mean, yeah. no,
Actually,
like,
it's probably about a day now, right? It's probably been about a day, because there was all the travelling of when you crash landed and then went to Daza and then went all the way back to High Market, so it's probably been about a day. Because remember, you visited her in a holding cell.
Yes, that's true.
But in a
That felt like the wrong time to start
yeah.
demanding
Vault
demanding
access.
things of her.
I love the idea that she just opens a door to the vault and both you just leave the prison cell.
I would love that. Oh man, can we go back in time and redo that, please?
I think that's where a lot of your problems have started from.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
yeah, stop going back and doing things again.
Oh dear.
we did. That just reminded me. We did have an alternate plan we discussed.
Mhm.
Radiate the joint and run away.
Well, no, that's one of the more direct approaches. Do you remember, Zig? It was a different spell.
Hold on. Let me go look at my spell list.
Maybe more of a class ability than a spell.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Hide query in my cheek pouches?
It's a racial, not a class. Okay.
Ah, okay. Class spell. Fly away.
It was referring to the possibility of
The fact that he never got that straight away is quite impressive. I'm gonna like it.
linking with them.
Oh, mind link! I forgot about that.
But my concern is that it wouldn't work, and he would just be the one camp person in this entire universe who would just be fine.
Just dump information on a
He'd
person.
be like, "Oh, you've tricked me, you bastard!" Or arrest him. I was going to say, abduct him now.
Yes. So I don't think that's a good idea.
I agree.
Just
do
telling
have to
him
go back to
everything that user word Queer might tell him, and possibly more, is probably not a good outcome for a gangster. Grinning the hut.
Why don't we? What would I dump in Grinning Door with?
Just here is my life choices to date. Can you offer me some assistance?
Just everything to do with time travel. There you go. You want the wormhole knowledge? Here, have it.
Nice Farscape reference, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah. Margarita, shoot us, John!
We entertain. I don't know if it's a good idea. I think, in fact, bad idea. It is an idea.
It is an idea. Most of our ideas are, to be fair.
Most, if not all, of our ideas
Our ideas.
are right.
Yes. I think people at home, that's your cue to take a drink at the obvious statement bingo that we often do. Right, so. Other goals. Fucking hell. This is an interesting. Well, it's a new year, but it's a new year, a new way of running the game, which is not actually running the game, it's talking about the game and the state of the game and the things we have done. So, general goals. What's staying?
I guess Peaky Valerian versus is at the window, not?
I maybe think it's a bit delayed, but I don't think it.
So, if you're thinking about removing it, what is the alternative to put in its place? I think it's the way to think of it.
Idea.
Then it stays.
No idea, to be honest. Because the most pressing thing other than that, well, as far as I know, what kind of card is just retrieve query. Somehow, still the kind of new thing that propped up since then, really, innit?
Okay, so what about the rest of them?
Gonna go up.
So if we're keeping speak with the Kivalari crew on versus, which may happen, at some stage. 2022, we'll aim for, right, guys?
I mean, I don't see how we get MO info, but we can do it.
That's an interesting statement. I don't see how we can do this, but we can do it, right?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I just don't know. It's me. I mean, I don't know how we can get it, but somebody else has an idea.
Okay, so again, only if you've got more pressing replacements. So is anybody else in the team that was, here with the potential for needing more pressing replacements? Being the Lyco, Weird, and Zig of the group. Any of them need to be removed, or are we keeping them all? Because I feel like we're keeping them all, because
It's okay.
Yeah.
Keep them up. Keep them up.
The only reason why I'm having the goal chat at the beginning is because obviously we were missing Admiral Deora. Yes. Seems like they're all staying then.
Watch the screen.
So speak with Kivalari crew in versus. Prepare and embark for Eox. To be fair though, the speaking with the Kivalari crew will probably have to happen within their recovery time. Because then they'll just be redeployed, right?
Yeah.
They won't be gone, ideally, unless they just evaporate.
A lot trickier to find.
Yeah, their acting contracts ran out and we didn't renew them, so they're gone. We have to recast them all. Prepare and embark for Eox. So prepare and embark for Eox still seems to be the main thing you're aiming for, which I mean I'm hoping you achieve this week, but that's just let's see how that goes.
See how that goes.
And then you just want info on query and MO. Gain useful info on both of those, and then you've got retrieve valuable objects from Eox for trade with maybe Bob. Good old Bob. So good. I guess let's get started then, right? And let's just jump straight in with the bar. Because
the bar.
Yeah.
I hope you don't need me to cast anything because Roll20 is just broken for me.
That's fine.
That's okay. I'll just attempt to read.
Well, just need to do it manually, boyo.
That's fine.
Sounds terrifying.
Right, where's my 10d10? Aha! I'm in. Never mind. Okay. Sorted.
No, we do have an Alex, apparently. Nope. Not according to me.
Oh, sorry, my it seems to have locked me out.
Yeah.
Chrome. Why?
Who
Just
knows?
reloading.
I did actually get signed offline as well.
I got the
Maybe
red box flashing up,
yeah.
but it never kicked me out, so I must be one of the few people that got to stay.
One of the
Log.
lucky ones.
I don't know if I'd call it lucky, but one of the few people that got to
Kicked us
stay.
to make space for everyone else, and then
We've
made
made enough
space
space.
again.
That's what I'm
we
going
are
to say.
space. Crap. Okay.
Yep, so the scene, obviously, the transaction has been completed, you have been paid, Durwa has you in one of his arms, embraced close to him, Lyko,
Wow.
as there was laughing. Yeah, they were very chummy.
Mm.
And then he turns to Zig and says, "Little one, come, we will celebrate this." And then
Get drunk and just walk away.
motions for you to step down from the booth and come down the steps towards the main floor.
I think Zig does kind of taking stock of the amount of people that are there. I'm like,
yeah, and
counting his spell slots, but in a more narrative sense.
there was
so-
probably about 8 or 10 hangers on. I forget really how much. It wasn't really that important. And then you've got the 2 big Shobad guards. One that just looks at you and smiles. Another one that kind of has a gruff look on his face. And your head, and then he just kind of does a motion with his his head towards the robo bartender, who immediately just starts pouring drinks for all 3 of you.
Already had one.
And
It's fine, you're undead, right? You don't get affected by booze, right? Wow.
Why? Why would you even say that? That was such shade, Zora.
No, mate, I mean, should they? It's pish.
So anyway, in this scene, yeah, your drink's kind of taken out of your hand, or wherever you'd set it, Lyko, and he goes, "Yes, this is for customers, but this is for friends, you know." And
Thanks.
it's clearly higher caliber alcohol that you're being supplied with now, not the barroom piss that they serve to people. So they're sat at the bar. He's just kind of standing, you know, with his mug in his hand, kind of almost as if stopping your immediate ability to just run out of the door with his sheer frame. He isn't necessarily doing it. It's just the fact that he is a big guy.
So, did I mention to him last session? Trying to remember that he said something to the effect of, "Oh, do something to impress me, then we can talk business."
I don't know if it did or didn't. You could rephrase it now, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, give me a second. A sip of his whatever it is he's got. Some sort of beer-like substance, or
sure.
I haven't met Double yet. Did I
Nope.
personally meet him?
Nope.
Oh yes, beautiful. I've got ideas.
Since we've been able to retrieve gestures to weary him,
Who's
I
just
hope you'll
like wailing on the floor in pain.
I hope you'll consider us for other work.
And Durwa watches like you take a drink of the drink and looks at Zig.
Zig just kind of like goes from kind of staring forward and looks up at him. Maybe kind of just swirling the drink in his hand. Doesn't say anything, but just kind of looks at him.
And I think he just stares at you for like an uncomfortable moment. Even though Lyko's been talking to him.
Yeah, I think Zig does that thing where in his head he goes, "Oh, I should say something," and then doesn't say something, and then like that extra second later thinks of something.
So does Lyko hear that?
It's too late to say something.
I think I kind of look between the two of them. Maybe look slightly confused. Like, why are you staring at each other? Like mentally saying to because we're mentally still connected. Me and Zig, saying to him like, do you want to say something to him or?
I assume that was endo-verbally.
Yeah, to Zig. But if Zig isn't saying anything, then we just go. Yeah, or not.
And then there was like hands clasped behind his back, and then his top two fold. So his bottom two fold behind his back, and his top two cross over his chest as he sat his mug down on the table, the countertop, and he says, "Something wrong with the drink?"
Not at all. Thought I would favor it.
And he kind of just stares.
It's a rare occasion. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's a rare occasion where someone in my position, and he like gestures to himself as a rat, gets to experience such finery.
And he kind of he leans in really close. And he says, "Then it is good that we are friends then, for your life will be all the richer if you are this useful."
And Zig will smile. And
you could probably tell Durwa's probably smiling, but it's hard to tell because you've only got his kind of cheeks muscles to go on, because obviously his mouth's covered. That is not a COVID reference, everyone. That's just because the Kusathans are polite that way, unlike the entire pop. Anyway, so
yeah, it's he's either squinting at me or smiling. Who knows? And I think we just say. I think he would just look at him, nod, and take a sip of the whatever it is.
Probably is closer to fuel than alcohol, but it's you know it is definitely going to get you wrecked quickly, and I think that's the goal behind this.
Yeah, I
'Cause
think he takes like a small sip and it like lets it. He doesn't, just neck it.
Yeah, and like you
Still
could
want to be able to walk.
you could probably read into the idea of like this alcohol's strong enough that he doesn't want to spend a lot of time with people he calls friends. He wants them to get drunk, and then he will, assume they will either leave or he will leave. Right? Like you can tell it's that type of alcohol where it's pure enough and not necessarily there for taste, for sipping or savouring. It's there to get drunk, and then he can go, "Good, we are friends. Goodbye." Our transaction is completed. You could read into that, right? Because especially when, I guess maybe the body language he had when Zig said savouring it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Durwa turns to you, Michael, and like big hand on your shoulder, kind of grips tightly and says, "And how else are you useful to me?"
Well, I've turned my hands to quite a few things in my time. Depends what you need done.
And he stares at you for like a good 30 seconds.
Like his black eyes.
It's like the kind of red glowy eyes, right, and the kind of
Oh, yeah,
black
they
energy
are.
around you as a person, and just staring.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I guess we will find out how useful you can be, and I hope very. It could be very lucrative for both of us."
I just, sort of nod my head lightly in appreciation. I think Lyko was sort of trying to come off as if he's trying to come off not too enthusiastic.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, they almost
I
playing
think
hard to get vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, like Lyko's maybe trying to subtly give the impression that he doesn't want to seem too eager.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe Lyko's kind of angling for the, oh yeah, of course, I've done many deals like this. This isn't a big deal for me. But he's quite self-conscious.
Yeah, you're Boba Fetting it up. You're trying to play it cool, right? You're not phased in the face of Vader.
Well,
like,
I'm
yeah.
trying to play that I'm playing. It's multiple. I'm trying to play Lyko playing a role.
Mm-hmm. What is acting?
So I'll be like,
they ask me to be a wizard, I said to him,
"But I'm not a wizard."
I am not a wizard.
Oh, the extras was so good. But yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
And how will I know what to say?
Just sort of, not nodding his head, not too enthusiastically, just the sort of pleasant, sort of, yeah, that's good. I'm pleased. This is a positive step. Given that sort of affable reaction. I don't know. Maybe take another swig.
Of his, mug of ethanol. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says, "Well, good. Finish your drinks and be as useful as you wish to make money." Pats you both on the back. In a very much kind of, leave when you are done kind of way.
Yeah.
And then kind of turns round and just stands with like, two sets of his hands on his hips and just stares down at Query and just chuckles to himself in that really deep Christopher Judge Teal'c chuckle. And then shakes his head and just like walks back up to his booth. And just the mulling and conversation starts again from the hangers on. And he sits there in like his haze of smoke. Kind of just chuckling away to himself again. And Query's just left bleeding on the floor.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
sort of edge a little closer to Zeg, because I think it probably wouldn't be immediately next to each other. Like slap a hand on his shoulder and very much doing a Durban impersonation, and make some sort of banal small talk about the bar or something like that, and mentally sort of in breath, between breaths, sort of communicate to him, like, so one of us needs to calm some assistance in.
Shall I go outside?
How quickly do you think you can finish your drink and not look suspicious?
pours half drink into into Lyco's glass as sneakily as humanly possible.
You have to roll for that, or
I mean, the robo bartender's just staring at both of you. Its job's you're the only people at the bar. Its job's to serve.
yeah. Just you know what? Just in case anyone was watching as he did that, I'll pat him on the shoulder again and take a nice big swig, just to give the impression that to any onlookers that maybe that's what Lyco was suggesting. He's bullying his little friend into, or whatever he's.
I mean, again, Vesk Law would have you in the right.
I am taller. So do that, and I was say like, okay, you go out, you calm. That's smart. I think it's probably best that you calm because
Cool.
he's communicated with me on my device.
And Zig would like put on a sort of kind of begrudged expression,
Yeah.
kind of expression, and just kind of take a swig of like the remains of his glass. And
the remainings. You were right the first time.
all right, okay, thanks. The remains, and yeah, just kind of jump down and just kind of storm out. Not storm out, but
Turns into a storm.
Yeah.
Drifts out.
As you're sort of like maybe a few steps away from me, I'll sort of like say, sort of half turn towards you and say, just let me finish this. I'll catch up.
Yeah, okay. And then just like out the door goes. And I think he maybe goes round like maybe a few blocks down. Like he doesn't want to be like right outside the door and be like, right, Captain.
Considering the door is one of the main features of this place, considering a lot of it's, as I said, open air. It's almost like half walls and posts that go up from the walls that then somehow support a second floor that has those kind of cots above. So yeah, and I think as you're leaving as well, just to the big showbad just kind of gently waves as you leave. Even if you're not necessarily looking, the audience see this. It's very emotional.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they could do that, like walking away, not looking, like just wave in the air, as in saying goodbye to the place.
Yeah.
Than the.
It's more the problem I got against Durba. Why hurt the show bad, lad? Show bad deserves this shit.
And
then he would just go down a few blocks and then calm the captain, I guess.
Yeah.
Or attempt to.
I mean, you've got space internet on your phone, right? Or
I've got space internet on my phone.
Okay. So yeah, you calm the captain.
Bloop 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 bloop.
Zig.
Captain, Admiral, sorry. So here's the thing. We're recruiting Durwas, and we may need some. I don't want to say backup, but backup.
What did you do?
He stomped on Query. So essentially, we had this brilliant idea. Lyco had this brilliant idea that has nothing to do with me. Lyco had this brilliant idea of we would use Query. He looks kind of like Nyx used to look like, so we brought him over to kind of just get under Grinning Durwa's skin. But it turns out the Grinning Durwa was a pretty tough man, and he was fooled by me completely, but. Yeah, he's kind of just broken Query and now has him in his custody, and we're not 100% sure if we're going to get out of this mess.
For everybody, including the audience, the injury is a shattered leg from like the knee down. Durba just stomped onto.
Just like stomp.
Yeah, he stomped. He did a good, all four arms heaved him into the air, and then he dropped onto Query's leg with some pun about not being able to run away, and shattered the android's leg. Horrible.
So they need to shoot a person. They need to shoot a bloke.
I mean, I think we're open to suggestions at this point.
Right. So, doesn't know anything about me.
I brain Lyco.
Fair.
I brain com Lyco, and say, does Grinning Durwa know anything about the captain?
I don't
Admiral.
believe I've mentioned anything about Captain Tudorwa.
Plus, keep in mind, Zora, your memories are now the clusterfuck of everything that has happened and didn't happen, but at the same time did happen. Lyko
yeah,
did
well-
fix everybody's memories, which means you now have
Yep. Oh,
the
yeah, I
year
forgot to
the
mention
year that
that.
didn't
That is-
happen and did happen. So you now have all the memories instead of just half of the ones.
Who was it initially met, Durwa?
Lyko?
Was it just you?
I mean,
Was it just you?
technically Nyx, if we're going,
Oh.
you know, Nyx
Yeah.
and then Lyko.
The before time.
Right, yeah, I remember about next. Right, cool. So I guess it was like maybe when we split up to look for something with it, and I ended up in the church, and you ended up there.
Mhm.
And
And
maybe
you started
Right.
breaking up.
And
You and CC started breaking the church. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think
right.
God, how many sessions ago
Yeah.
was that? Fucking hell.
Right.
The amazing thing
So
is, I have made the worst decision in the Akaton saga.
here's my brainstorm. Right.
Bianca
Is
Faye might
I
see it
can-
differently.
Well, true.
I can march in there with armored CC, and I can basically come in the guise of being part of the vest because I'm technically part of the vest now, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Holy
Oh
fuck.
my gosh.
Sorry
Okay.
guys, 4th of May 2020, Drink Hole was the Grinning Durwa.
Yeah.
That's what this place is called, Drink Hole. And 4th of May. So it's May the 4th be with you, so it's another Star Wars reference now. See the transitions
a
coming in nicely?
sign.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, that's
Um,
probably why we ended up in Mos Eisley.
I love it when a plan comes together. Right. Okay.
Yeah, Jabba's
But yeah, I
palace
can-
vibes.
I can go in demanding that Miri is a fugitive of the Vesk and that we are to take him into custody, we'll pay him later, yada yada.
And you are officially part of the Vest military now.
That's exactly what I mean. Technically, I'm right, so.
Your badge is still
Like-
being Amazoned to you, but that's not a problem.
And yeah,
So the plans that we've had in the past day, I think, yeah, I like it. I like it, Captain Admiral. Yeah, good job.
so I just
It's
basically
so
need just
wrong.
to play along, and then if it goes wrong, I mean, we just shooty right, probably, but I mean, tried. I mean, it's probably.
ask him to bring our guns.
Oh, and yeah, I'll be like communicating with Lyko at the same time, giving him everything the captain's saying anyway.
Yeah, and like was
I
thinking,
assume Lyko would.
guns!
Oh, and could you please bring our our Lyko's weapons, please?
Why would you go to Akatom? No, never mind.
You,
I'll
you
bring
have their
guns.
guns because you flew away
Yeah.
with them. You took them.
I'll be true, right?
You took my guns.
The hatchet
Hey,
guns.
you come for my guns and like a
Should
bit
have
of bar,
had your
eh?
guns.
Don't know why I was an Italian.
I mean, you say this to the two
Thanks.
people of the team, right? Where one is radiation incarnate as a space
I mean,
wizard, and the other
maybe
one
he needs a
has
gun,
blades
right?
in his hands. So,
I mean, it's just that like was like good with guns, right? I mean,
Like, he's
fucking
very good with
Sigma's
guns.
A gun.
Sig is the
Sigma's
gun.
the fucking gun. He is the gun. Like I know that. Like, it's
Yeah,
fine.
but it was a present.
Michael could stab us with. I'll bring the gun. There shouldn't be a problem. I'll be right there. Like, yeah, I'll be right there. I guess.
Well, yeah, probably, but, you know.
Like, yeah, keep them busy. Just drink like fuck. Try and like pour something in the back of your like back or something like that and get on your drink. I don't know how you do it, but just do it.
I wish I had like a water evaporation spell or a liquid evaporation spell or something.
Destroy
I mean-
water spell, yeah.
This is my thoughts on how to like fix this. Maybe without shooting, right? And if
I
it
like
doesn't
it.
work, then
And if we get into fisticuffs, it's fine because we
yeah,
can
if it doesn't
just
work,
run
shit
away
happens.
pretend we're not associated with
Mhm.
Captain, so it's all good. Yeah, I think Zig would just head back to Grinning Jarvis' place and maybe like storm in and just be like, "What? You're taking forever? I'll have another then." And then just walks
Hey,
up to the bar.
I was just about to. Okay.
So what I love is, like, when you factor in the part where Lyca was kind of told off by Ramasethu in the very Ramasethuist way of, okay, taking a while doing that thing I asked you to
Yeah.
do. And then, now, I love the idea she checks on you now and it's like, oh, let's have one more. You know, that'd be fine. I love the idea that she just checks in snapshots. What's he up to?
In
Bastard.
fact, you're perhaps right actually. Not in terms of directly like we kind of have to do this right now, but in terms of like maybe we're hanging around too long here. So I think.
Well, I have a
Lyco-
room here. I'm staying here.
Oh yeah, so you are.
He has it caught upstairs.
Why
When he says
not,
room, he
though?
means he caught
I say
upstairs.
room. I've got a cot upstairs. But,
Yeah.
Well, Lyco will be performatively confused about that because Lyco does know that, but he'll pretend he doesn't.
Mhm.
But where are you?
oh, I've got a bed upstairs.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm staying here. Just for
Oh,
a
okay.
couple of days till the next job comes through, and then kind of pats him on the shoulder, goes to the robot, asks for like a half pint of, not a half pint, like a quarter pint of something.
I guess he asks for like 5 credits or
Finish the
something.
last of
Like, I
what
don't
I've
know.
got.
Yeah.
And I will return the shoulder pat, although it'll probably be a lot easier for me to do, for me to execute the shoulder patting maneuver. And I would say, okay, I'm gonna go have something to eat because that was it's stronger stuff.
Hmm.
I don't really drink so much these days.
Soundtrack behind
Yeah,
this is just
and
the
Headspace
moans
say,
of Query.
I don't drink at all. This is bad.
Headspace is probably pretty blurry right now for you both.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna go get something to eat probably.
Enjoy. I think I'd look at the bar robot and like
Mhm.
kind of motion to like ask if I can take my drink upstairs.
It just asks if you want a refill.
Oh, can I take it up with me?
And it just asks if you want a refill.
And then Zig
Yeah.
just kind of looks at the drink, goes, what the hey, and like necks it, holds the glass up.
Oh my
and goes
god.
upstairs with it.
Okay, so another 5 credits, I guess, and then yep, you get another drink, yep.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a lot for a drink at this point in this game. I don't know anymore. So, here we are.
It's a robot.
I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah.
It's fucking nightclub prices, man. It's nightclub prices.
Yeah, and then it's also just the fact that this is probably nobody's going to argue with drink holes prices because Grinning Door owns it. So, and he probably is the guy with all the booze connections anyway.
You have to pay to enter.
Right. So that's
It's
true.
better than a lot of nightclubs.
To be fair, it's also because you could probably like back out of like a stall in the market and end up in this place accidentally. Right. So that's maybe deliberate that he's designed this place that you could just walk into it without realizing that you're now inside. Be funnier if you had to pay to leave. As a nightclub, well, a money trap. But yeah. So on the final hour, so the camera does that nice zoom away all the way up to the final hour, and what does Zora do after that calm message? What's the most immediate thing?
He sighs, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, then he immediately goes to go find blah blah blah. He's CC. Yes.
Cool. Yep.
Names. Words.
Where do you think CC will be?
Probably near his mech in the fucking
Chorlby,
in
yeah.
Ivan or something. Like,
Mhm.
go there first.
Yep. So yep, you head there. Yeah, you go inside. Obviously, the scene is still construction. There's still that weird kind of rave music playing as well, synthwave and
Nice.
whatnot.
Nice. CC.
And then,
CC.
he kind of like stops working briefly to turn his head to you, and then goes back to working.
How operational is the mech?
You just get like a thumbs up.
Can you use it?
You get another thumbs up from another hand.
You may want to test it out.
You get 3
Mate.
thumbs down.
You don't want to test it?
You get a 4th thumbs down.
I've got a mission.
Gives you a thumbs up.
What
And he
Come in your
waves.
mech.
He just waves gently at you.
Fuck. Right.
Continues working.
Right, he'll just keep on his mech. Right, he's fucking sorted. Alice needs to come in. I was hoping for a mech, right? I was hoping for a mech. It's more. Even if I know it's a Scalamander, it's a bit more like.
She's almost a mech.
More terrifying if it was a Scalamander operated mech, in my opinion. But yeah,
we'll finally fucking
weaponized them.
weaponized the Scalamanders. Vesca's strong now.
To be fair, though, right, this might be worth another medal, Zora. Like, actually weaponizing Scaramanders as a Vesk, like, it's arguably worth a medal in the Veskarium.
Yeah. He's finally figured it.
This is how we justify mega celebrity as an upgrade for you. On your new theme upgrade. Oh, that's so dumb. But yeah, carry on. So you want to look for Alice?
I'll go get Alice. I don't think Cece's going to come down with us. Yeah. Probably the fucking bridge, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you could just call her.
Yeah, Alice. True.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Admiral.
What, going on a little mission? Little rescue mission?
This is the first time you've ever asked me.
No. It's first for me as well.
Big day.
Yeah.
Is there cake for this?
Maybe later.
Oh, yeah, I suppose, because then if we don't make it, then it's not a waste of the cake.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of
makes
waste some cake, right? Right, so we kind of need to go now, because as far as I know, query is broken, and
Which one's query?
the useless man. It's not so useless.
Which one's query?
She even met query yet? She's not actually, has she?
Yeah, she has, but you know, her exposure to the crew have been
The
minimal.
next guy.
Oh, okay. That's all you get.
Right, but yeah, yeah.
So he needs rescued.
Yeah, we're going to try and talk over you to it, but backup might be helpful if things go bad.
Okay.
For the backup.
And you're taking me on a mission to rescue somebody with words.
Yeah, you're there in case something goes bad. Some backup.
Okay. Okay. There's just nothing.
Got me?
I understand.
I'll trust you. Let's go.
Where?
Hive Market. That's right, isn't it?
That is correct, yeah.
Yeah, Hive Market.
Okay, where is that?
Akaton, planet below.
Well, that's handy, we're above Akaton.
I know, right?
So we're there.
Let's go.
Who's in charge of the ship then?
The aristocrats!
That's what, Finn.
Finn blinks in next to you. An excellent choice, Admiral.
Odd.
And he blinks away and then you can just hear Alice go, ah! Because he's clearly blinked onto the bridge.
Yeah, you can handle it. Top of it.
Okay.
Should hopefully not be long. We get quick into it.
Okie dokie. Do you have any coordinates for this place so we could park above it?
I'll text message Zig, Glyco, both. Zig might be too plastered to even be able to text at this point.
Well, sounds like Lyco is the same, but yeah. Yeah, so you send the comm to both of them for the coordinates.
Yeah.
I assume when they use transmits coordinates back. I'll wait either Zig
Yes,
or... Yeah,
sorry, I
perfect.
was muted.
Cool.
I mean, that makes sense.
And, yeah. Assuming you're both in the same rough area. And
Oh, show the coordinates.
so it's like, okay, course set in, I guess. I assume we're taking the shuttle as opposed to crash landing the ship.
That's shuttle.
Okay.
Shuttle be fine.
I would concur with this plan, Admiral.
Nod. Let's go.
And then the comms go dead, and and then like something's tugging at your leg.
Yes.
And CC looks up at you and just points at himself, and then points at you
What, do I come?
and gives you a thumbs down.
What?
Points at himself and then points to his head.
Alright. Right, you want up?
He kind of gives you a thumbs down.
I don't care. Alright, he probably was like, my man won't charge the ship. Just looks at him. What's going on here? I mean, you're busy doing your mech. It's important business. You get that jump drive on that mech.
Yeah, looks at the mech like over his shoulder, and then like drops the spanner that's in his hand, and then points at himself again and points at his head.
A hat.
Kind of gives you a thumbs down.
Oh, something, please. For the love of God.
What? What do you want?
Sense motive, my lord.
I mean, I've got terrible sense motive, I think.
I mean, it's got to be better than just guessing.
I'll try sense motive.
Sure, let's have the first roll of the year.
I'll try a sense move.
Yeah,
Terrible.
this seems uncharacteristic for him, this behaviour.
What's wrong? What's like points to you, points to your heat? What does that mean?
And he points to you. Then he points to him. Then he points to his head.
That me go your heat.
He gives you a thumbs down. He probably face palms with 3 of his hands.
I don't get it. I'm lost.
He kind of his head kind of like hangs low a bit, and then he kind of like picks up his spanner that's lying next to him, and then just hits you in the shin with it, and then walks away.
Ow.
And goes back to working on his mech.
Tell him to use comms or something then.
Yeah, text message next time.
You get a message on your comm.
Okay, what is it?
It says it doesn't matter.
Oh,
Sorry, it's fine. Forget about it. Who's mech?
After about 5 minutes then of whatever the fuck you do, I assume get the shuttle ready in some way. Alice turns up and she goes,
Sure. Oh.
I didn't know what to bring, so I brought nothing.
Shit, there's guns. The guns on this shuttle.
Unless you took them off it, they're still on it, yeah.
Nah, they're still on it, and I didn't probably did. Yeah, cool. You can make guns if you need them, right?
It's a very charged question, Admiral.
You can, right?
She gives you a wink and finger guns you.
Right, good. So if this goes bad, then bad means them
we've lost.
get
Alex.
the opposite side gets violent
Bad.
and make some guns. Tell them let me talk.
Okay. Who am I making the guns for, though? I assume our side.
Of course.
Of course. She just looks at you. Goes, I think we are ready for this.
We're absolutely ready for this. Let's go, first officer.
And then she,
First of the officers.
and then she just punches you twice with her fists.
I'll punch her back. Fuck.
Yeah.
I've got to do it right.
It's the salute, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, she punches, you punch, and then she goes,
It's great.
I assume I will pilot.
You assumed correctly.
She kind of nods. She goes, good. I usually do. Now she walks to the shuttle.
I'll pick up Lyco's guns and I'll look about and see if Zig has a gun. Does Zig have a gun?
Check out his pistol
He
that
does.
Cece gave him.
Yes.
Does.
Take
I'll
his
take his
gun.
gun.
Well,
Well, it's all on the shuttle, right? Like, it's all still there, so you don't need to,
I'll
like,
take it.
yeah, it's all there.
Grab the weaponry. I'm pretty sure I can open
an
them all.
Nora arc pistol.
It was actually a surprisingly good weapon you got for the level I think you got it at, so
Yeah.
CC was just like, here you go, and pats your hand as you hold it.
A level 13 weapon.
Yeah,
It is good.
It's still a good like weapon for
Yeah.
my level.
makes you wonder why CC had it. But these are questions nobody needs to ask. And then, yeah, like, use depart. The shuttle leaves the shuttle bay. CC vaguely waves one of his hands as he's working on the mech. Throwing other things into Ivan with his free hands.
I'll wave back.
Yeah, I mean, he's not looking, he's just waving. I mean, that's...
I'll just wave back anyway. Goodbye, little guy.
So you've now left the ship with Finn, Ivan, and Cece on board. I love this. It is my favourite occurrence for the start of the new year. This is why we don't get to keep nice things.
We'll have like a we'll have a 0.5 episode at some point where it's just that episode where we go.
Yeah,
okay.
the lost episodes, yeah, just between
Yeah.
them,
Oh, is that where it turns out there was a smoke monster and the island was purgatory? I've not
Wow,
watched
spoiler
the show,
alert for
spoilers.
AMD. So anyway, yeah, use, I guess, make your descent into Akaton. Fucking hell. As you're descending in the drop pod that is the shuttle, Alice points out on the sensors. She goes, "That's a big ship. Why is our ship not that big?" And she's pointing
not enough
towards
about
like
it.
the corpse fleet mega ship, the super colossal Ultranaut.
Back of the Ardies that he hit, right?
I feel like that is true. She stares at
Nod.
you. She nods.
And yeah, not enough crew, right? Too many people.
I mean, I used to think that. And then I was alone for a week. And I realised that if you just change the amount of consoles that are on the bridge, you can do most of the jobs yourself.
Yes. Yeah, not everybody could do that.
It's because they have people getting in their way. She like taps the side of her head and nods sagely.
I would kind of not say it's along with that as well. Yes. Yes. I've let you do your own thing. I'm a great father.
Your children are doing so well under your tutelage. Yeah. Yep. Alice and Cece, siblings at large. And she says, like, so she pivots around in the kind of operator seat.
The father didn't leave, right? CC goes back.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, she has the first of the officers. So, and she says to you, "So, let's say Plan A and B don't work out. Is there a Plan C?"
We attack the mayor with hummus.
Yes. Never really thought of that. Kind of confident that we'll be able to break a bit with it. Well, one way or the other.
Okay. However, what if we need a Plan C?
I don't know.
Wait, plan A is talk. Plan B is shoot. What? Okay, Plan C could be shoot more. I guess.
Yeah.
Pay
Yeah.
the fine. That's
There's no fight.
there is no fine.
And she's kind of staring, and that kind of almost like staring next to you, but not really at you. And she goes, "So, I have made a Plan C. However,
Good.
good. This is off to a good start. Better than I thought.
Yeah.
I hope we don't need it, I also have a plan D.
Oh.
Yes, this is worse. But arguably, plan D might be better than plan A.
Okay, right, so...
She's kind of like
Do
she's doing that thing
explain.
where she's almost like trying to convince herself that's true. And
Did you explain what these plans
okay,
are?
so plan A is we go in and we super smoothly negotiate the release of this new crew member query.
I would nod or nod.
Plan B is I am a bazooka.
Nod.
And plan C is I have remotely tasked the weaponry of the final hour to this. She holds up.
That's my girl.
She holds up.
Uh,
She holds up a pistol that seems to have circuit boards taped to it.
It's a fine idea, but that's...
And she slides it over to you and she goes, "This is now your plan."
The very last resort.
No, it's plan C.
Okay, what's D then?
And
What D is?
so you get plan C, and she hands you like the gun, and essentially it's like a laser guidance system, right? You basically point, click, and then the guns from the final hour arguably will fire where you've pointed it. Who knows?
I like it. Right, is this one just for here or like anywhere?
She goes, "Well, it works for now.
Let's go.
I wouldn't pull the trigger just now though, because then we will be targeted by it and we will blow.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
bad. Don't.
of course.
Maybe I should keep plan
Of
C.
No,
okay.
I've got it. I've got
Okay.
it. I'm
In
fine.
that case, I will keep plan D in case one of us is out of commission.
Trained weaponsman.
And she like brings up like her wrist comm thing, her holo projector, and she brings up a giant red button that says Plan D that's been written with like Microsoft Paint, and says, "This is a
Good bother,
secondary failsafe that will ram the ship into our location."
I had a feeling that. Right. Okay.
So we will have a fail. We will have
I
a
was
fail
gonna
safe.
suggest that.
We will have a fail safe each.
Okay.
And she like dismisses the holo projector and she goes,
Okay, maybe that is the very last resort, right? You're right. Like,
Yes.
Plan C is not the last resort, that's the last resort. C is like the just before the last resort.
correct. It's why I went for the alphabetical order. Anyway, yeah. So those are my contributions to this of my first missions.
Good, very good contributions. You're leading by example.
Okay. How do I do that?
Just keep doing you.
I'm gonna personally give myself a moment to laugh at my own joke and drink something. Oh,
Cluck.
oh dear. Thanks for the me impression. I just really enjoy you saying, lead by example, well done. And she goes, good. How do I do that? It's just, it really tickled me. So, anyway. Maybe I should just play her for the whole year and just not GM anymore. Like, we should just see what happens. But yeah, so she kind of nods and she goes, we should be landing soon.
Good. I guess suit up if that's a thing you do.
It is, and she points over to the corner where she also has the spellcaster Aegis that makes her a large size, like Weird had before he made his four-armed.
Okay.
Because she just, when her and Nick bought those suits of armor, she made him buy him one too. She spent her money on it. It was just...
Just wanted one.
Well, remember, she was very clingy with him originally, so...
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. The joy that is that. So, can I get perception checks from Lyko and Zig? And I
Got a
guess
hat.
have a -5 to being pretty drunk.
Okay.
why not?
Okay, so it's a 19.
Okay.
So what? 20 something,
Four.
24.
So, you hear a rumble of thrusters, and then, yeah. In the bar area, crashes the shuttle.
Oh
And that's where we go to break. So, so I'll see everybody in 10 minutes. Goodbye, Twitch, for 10 minutes. Bye. Okay, so welcome back to Starfinder, the Fragments of Eternity, Session 82, Part 2, 4th of January 2021. That's still weird to say. Ryan, the GM, and players.
Hi, I am Nico. I'm playing Zora. The Abyss, the Order, the Aura. And I am also the voice of feminism.
For our generation.
Voted like in a landslide victory again for this year. The voice of feminism.
Hello. I am Colin, and I will be playing Lyco Quint. Sneaky, spooky, and currently probably shard with debris. The Adams family. So, yeah. Imagine, if you will, a small Christina Ricci saying that one line everyone remembers from the film. There you go.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
It's not even a reference, that's just the indication of a reference.
Hi,
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Alex, and I will be playing Weird, an android mechanic of fun.
Welcome to the Lion's Den.
Here we go again.
Yes. I too can be fun.
Self-proclaimed match.
I'm just love me, okay? I'm Callum, and I will play Zig today, the Burning Sun, as I have done in previous episodes of this very escapade.
I think what Callum was trying to say is, love me or hate me, it's still an obsession.
Or Love Me and Despair, maybe? Like, you
That
know,
was-
there's, yeah.
That was a deep cut for those of you who remember Lady Sovereign.
Yeah, fucking hell. And also the first cut is the deepest, as we know.
True.
Much like the first album, certain people manage to get out and then don't follow up on. Anyway, so
Some people don't get the first album done.
this is true. I am one of those people, actually. I have no
I
album.
think I am one of those people as well.
Big fans.
Well, I mean, to be fair, with the amount of things I have said on YouTube now, somebody could auto-tune a full song, most likely. Possibly even a full album, with the sheer amount of content of my voice alone that exists now. So, if any fan wants to do that, don't!
Have you considered doing that thing, like the cloning your voice and then just
Why even just stop at the voice, right? Because then I could have a GM for me.
I think it's substantially cheaper to clone your voice than it is to clone you.
Start with the sheep.
Yeah.
And give me a voice.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Give sheep a voice.
Votes for sheep. No, right, okay.
Yeah, sheep enfranchisement. Hashtag sheeple are people.
Yeah,
Too.
some woolly justice and all that nonsense. Yeah, okay. I see what you say. Anyway.
They're gonna give
Oh no.
I heard it in Coast to Coast with Art Bell.
So that's the intros, guys. Well done. We got through them painlessly. Yep, as always. Right, so the scene of debris as the lander does its namesake at the given coordinates, much to most people's shock. The kicked up sand and, as I said, debris and a fairly maybe slightly too close for comfort query lying there, possibly KO'd by this point, if even still alive, and yeah, as all of the alarm bells are blaring within the the shuttle. Alice turns to you, Zora, and says, I also might have a new plan, but we'll see if I need it. And then goes, let's go. And then suddenly...
I roll.
yeah, and they scream. You know that I scream. And she like does her technomancer thing where she pulls up a rifle out of nothing, obviously, with her like fancy kind of pink and violet and orange light. It all kind of swirls around it and forms the gun she grips. And kind of, Mako Team-esque member style. And pops the button on the door so the ramp falls down, and out she goes into Durba's bar. Drink hole.
I'll also go. Yeah, sure. Let's play with it. Just go with it.
Lyko, where were you when this happened? Because this was arguably an hour
He
later.
was probably in
to
the
the con.
process of leaving.
Keep in mind, this was probably an hour after the
Oh yeah,
cons.
I was probably well clear then. Maybe I'd been nearby so that I could have sort of spotted that happen. Maybe getting some food at a nearby.
Yeah, I think it's like, reasonable to say that you heard this happen, considering that you did submit your coordinates and you knew. I mean, you could look up and recognize the shuttle as it lands, And
Yeah, slightly inebriated Lyko just watching from like a street away. It's like bits fly up and things. Like, yeah. I probably should have accounted for that possibility.
yeah, and
As he
then
sort of badly begins slinking towards them.
and obviously there's a bit of like crowd dissonance. Is that the word I want? Like there's definitely anxiety within the crowd, but not anybody like exactly rushing to help because it's Hive Market. And after a few moments, people go eventually about their business. When nothing explodes, and then we cut over to Zig, who's upstairs, right?
Yep. So
there's now a hole in the floor in the middle of the upstairs that goes down to the downstairs, and you can see the top of the shuttle.
I guess I could just jump onto the top of the shuttle from where I am. Is it like
you could?
Yeah, I think you would just do that, and
But I want an acrobatics roll.
that's fine. No, it's not. That's bad. Is it?
Is there even a skill in this system? I don't even know. It is. There we go. Yeah, it's not great. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fine.
It's fucking false.
So I just take a d6 damage. The only reason I made you roll is because you're
Sure.
drunk. There. Take 1 damage.
I will take that damage. Is that
It's when you bite your
off
tongue
my
when
stamina
you
or
hit.
straight to my hit points?
I don't care. Stamina. It's probably stamina.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, it's one of those
Oof.
you misjudged the landing.
I think I misjudged where the end was and took a step before jumping down and just fell off.
Yeah. And, I love the person that can fly took falling damage. I love this. It's so good.
Falling in.
Yeah. And yeah, so Lyko, do you make your way towards Drink Hole, or are you just?
I do, but I'm keeping a bit of distance from this fucking catastrophe.
Okay. And
Which is my fault, largely, but...
Yeah, this is not a catastrophe. This is how you get it done.
Mhm.
Right?
completely on your side from at least 60 to 70 feet away.
So yeah, so the ramp throws itself down and out stomps Alice in her. Remember, she takes up a large square now because her armor. So she bursts out in her spellcaster Aegis with her rifle in her hand, and then she like points her rifle up towards the Shobad that now have weaponry in their hands, and obviously like the hangers on, like half of them hiding and some of them pulling like pistols and some of them pulling knives and stuff on after the lander hit, and Durwa's standing hands folded behind his back and arms folded over his chest, top arms over in front, lower arms behind him, staring kind of through the haze of some form of narcotic mist. And Alice suit audio just screams out in both Space Common and Vesk, stand down. This is prisoner reclamation operations. and the lander is rigged to blow.
Nice touch. Nice touch. I like it.
And she looks around, and then calms you directly and says, "Which one's Query?"
The guy that's on the floor.
You can now assess the actual damage
Many
to him, and it looks like
Oh yeah, because Zig just said he broke his leg, didn't he?
like he got stomped on. I think was your exact words to the
Okay,
captain
got stomped
or the
on.
admiral, and yeah, like you can see like his legs like shattered, from the knee down. Yeah, and so yeah, you spot Query, indicate to Alice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Alice just stares at everything and sees what they do, and Durwa just stands there and like takes a step through the hangers on, right, and then just stands in these kind of like slightly raised up booth section of the bar, and then if he mutters something we don't know because of the engine noises from the shuttle, and then Alice looks at Query, and then he like digitizes and is gone.
What?
What?
What just happened, sorry?
And then Alice turns to you and says, "Are we good? Are we going?"
What just happened? Sorry, right. I actually don't know what happened. Who got digitised in this
Query's body on the ground, digitized and vanished.
F?
Is that probably? Yes, sure.
Good. Thank you for your cooperation. Blares out in common and Vesk. And then she hits the button and the shuttle seals up again.
Okay.
Sig! You're on top of the shuttle. You hear the engines.
Please, for the love of God.
Hold on.
Why? If you fall, it's fine. I'm running away from my speeder, by the way. But you hold on.
Can you fly an atmosphere
Yeah,
as only in
okay.
space?
I mean, like
he has
I get
flown an
off-
atmosphere. He has in the past, so I hope he still can.
Right.
Otherwise, he lied to me in the past.
No, I think what will happen is once. Oh, I don't know. It depends how.
It's probably illegal to fly while drunk.
Yeah, probably.
It's Akaton and nothing's illegal.
Yeah, maybe I'll just Starlight form away.
Okay.
I think I will.
Okay. So where'd you go, Sig? Like,
Just out. Oh, I suppose outside is inside now.
you could just go up.
The ambiguity of like the outside inside has now been decided. It's
Yes.
definitely outside.
Definitively outside. Yes.
I think I'm gonna fly up. Oh, no, wait, I'm gonna fly up and then just to town, just away.
Okay. So, Lyko, as you tentatively walk closer to this clusterfuck, the shuttle flies back up, and fucking Rocket Man, Zig, Starlight Boy, clearly just flies off.
I'll
What?
send the message to everybody just saying job done. Job's good.
And the shuttle just goes back up to the sky. Alice takes off her helmet in the shuttle and goes, "Well, that was easy."
Yeah.
And goes to high five you.
High five.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for I still have that bike. I rented it.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I put it, but narratively, I'm sure it's probably
Driving.
there.
It's somewhere.
I've got a good view of town. I mean,
There's a bicycle.
Arguably, you've got a good view of the layout of the town, but you can't see details because most of it's covered in tarpaulin tents to keep the sun off people. So
that's true.
you can see the tops of lots of like fabric, I guess.
Do you reckon there's enough fuel to make it to NASA?
Mate, you don't want to drink and drive on a bike, mate.
So,
I've tried a bicycle.
So first of all, remember the trip to Zaza was long and arduous on
they don't work
a shuttle. And
Yeah, that's true.
in a truck, it was pretty tough, and you had a big kind of cantina worth of supplies that Edgar had brought. It would be ill-advised to make the several-day journey on a speeder bike there, but arguably, you're not an everyday person.
I need to get out of Hive Market, I think.
Mm.
Because I just handed over a prisoner and then immediately a Vesk crashed. Vesk shuttle crashed. Took them back. Like immediately
Well,
happened. Like,
give or
within a
take an
few
hour.
hours
Give or
passed.
take 1 hour. 1 hour has passed. Yeah.
Yeah. They could not be more suspicious. So I think what I need to do is mentally communicate to Zig that, I'm going to where we landed that previous time.
Mm.
Outside and sort of like east.
Let me
then
bring
just-
up the Akaton map actually. Let me.
Book it out of Hive Market.
Where the fuck? Is the
Well, right. Job's good.
Right, so ignoring the timeline
Oh,
drawing that
heck.
exists. So near it was east of Hive Market. It's kind of southeast.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah,
it was like.
sort of hereabouts.
Oh, why did that not work? Where's my mouse is crap. There we go. So yeah, it was like in here, on one of the kind of plateaus of the mountains. Yeah. So yeah, like you can head that way, and I guess Zig can fly that way for as long as he can.
I'm just checking to see how long I can fly for.
Arguably, though, if Lyco was nice, you could just sync up just outside of town, and you could just hitch a ride on the back of the bike, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can just use head that way anyway.
Okay.
So user now, you're giving him a backy on the bike, and yeah, what's the plan, guys?
I think I think I'm like I guess that worked. Can you tell them to pick us up at the same place as last time where we dropped off?
Yeah. Sure. I'm. What happened?
I don't know, but it looked like they were successful.
Vesk, baby.
Is it
I
Vest
don't
Prisoner
really plan to-
Reclamation? Was that what it was called?
I don't really plan to stick around long enough to find out the specifics. But I'm guessing Grinninger was probably not too happy right now.
Possibly not. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I'll just send like maybe to the crew group chat or whatever. Right, we're heading to
The previous
Daza. Can you
arrival
pick us
point.
up? I can fly for 12 minutes, so it's not very long.
Well, it's not Daza. We're heading east. Remember?
Oh yeah, sorry. To wherever.
It's where you parked the Azure Flare shuttle when you had the egg. Because you remember that now.
I'll say that in my message.
Including because we remember that now part.
I mean, well, Zig remembered everything anyway, so.
Lyco informs me you remember that now.
Oh, I haven't informed them. of
Yeah.
that.
No, you
Yeah,
haven't
but
actually. I don't know
then
this. I don't know that.
but
Okay.
the fact that I said it indicates that I know it, and if I know it,
I'm unsure how, like, especially given the situation, like right now, this very second, how much Zig would read into that. I don't know if he would.
You could roll a
But,
sense
yeah,
motive and
Michael-
take away insert, like, I don't know, take away 2 to your sense motive roll for the
Minus 2
distraction.
sense motive.
Yeah,
Sure.
and we'll
Sense
see.
motif. Oof.
Yeah, so I feel like you could arguably just not notice that with a 13, yeah. Or an 11 if
and
that's.
if he asks like where, and I'll be like, just 2 clicks east of Hive Market.
Because it was, you wanted a
no, I
reasonable
think, like-
distance from Hive Market so your ship didn't just get stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who know that the best approach was simply to land on Hive Market.
It's because you'd never let Alice actually come up with the plan.
Clearly, we should have. That always works. It now officially has a 100% success rate. So far.
Arguably, The diner was
Obviously,
also successful.
I'm not even sure that counts as a plan. But okay.
Which I think's why I
Like
think
a
it counts as successful.
Brain spasm, but you know.
Yeah, sure. So,
Like, ah!
right, so what do you call him, the captain, Zig?
Um,
Because there's still a captain of a ship, even if he's an admiral of, you know, the fleet you have. The fleet of
I'd
doom.
just say, could you come pick us up where we left the shuttle outside Hive Market? Like exactly basically almost verbatim what Michael said.
Yeah, and the good thing is, obviously, Zora, now you remember that that's a thing that happened, and, you know, the fact that you remember that, and also the fact that you remember that not happening at the same time, lets you know that the fucking memory surge that you would have experienced already, given Lyco's success. Even though Lyco should have taken at least another 12 hours or something to have achieved success in his goal. Just FYI. Like, the fact that you have the memories now is pretty weird. Already.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Good, to be honest. It's nice having my proper memories back. It's nice. But yeah, I'll ask Alice to go into the coordinates. But Alice, can you go pick up Lyco and Sig here, and I'll get the coordinates.
Oh, a second mission already?
Yeah. This one arguably even easier.
Even
And she goes,
You've said it now.
and she goes, I don't know, that was pretty easy.
No, man, this one's like super easy. In fact, actually, it had to be harder because it's like 2 Biffins instead of 1.
wow.
I'll pick you up. Ha.
So,
Uh-huh.
I was reading on the way down that what we did isn't illegal.
Yeah, this is a pretty lawless place.
Which is handy because normally you have to pay to park.
Yeah, I mean, next time maybe not land in the building, maybe near the building.
I actually think that was a stroke of genius.
I mean,
that
it
was perfect.
worked. It
But,
worked, right? It
I mean,
was definitely
next
a show of
time
humorous-
if they don't, you know, repair the landing bay, then it would be easier to land next time, right?
We've just turned Grinning Darwas into our personal landing bay.
I mean,
My establishment.
My carriage.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me.
Yep.
we're going back into like, let's learn
Sorry.
morality with
Mm.
Zora.
Mm.
Like, so sometimes you might like you know like hurt other people.
But we didn't. Nobody got shot or blown up or anything.
I know, but you could have landed a ship on top of somebody.
Oh, no, I checked.
Good. As long as you check.
Okie dokie. Also, we don't
did
have
you
to
check
waste
the
any of
laws?
our plans. We've still got
Did you
A,
check
B,
the
C, and D.
Did you check the laws before or after you landed the ship?
On the way down, so it was before.
Good. Good. Keep up. Can't argue really. Good.
So what's the
Keep up.
second mission?
Just to go pick up Lyco and Sig here.
Okay. And then, yeah, she, you know, goes back to the piloting seat and reprograms the, you know, because clearly you were just heading straight back to the phone lower. With the Ascension protocol. So yeah, she reprograms that, breaks off the Ascension, and then, you know, you reconvene, right? I don't think there's anything fancy other than you land the shuttle at the aforementioned coordinates. Probably doesn't even take that long. She probably just cuts them off before they get to the plateau because she probably spots you on the way there. Because you're probably the only people in the middle of fucking nowhere heading out to like the, you know, the plateaus of High Shanzu. And these are all now safely in the shuttle. Are you taking the speeder?
I don't want to
Okay.
steal for the sake of stealing, so I'll just ditch it.
Okay.
I'm not
Wow.
ethical, but I'm not going to go out of my way to be unethical.
Right, so you're just gonna like leave it to be scavenged
Listen,
and
I
be
am
stolen by
still
somebody
technically
else.
deputized. I actually had to commandeer that vehicle in the reapplication of an escaped prisoner.
I will
So-
claim it in the name of the Viscarium.
Also, just
Official
another
like-
thing there, Nico. Right? Let's just highlight a part where sometimes finding a speeder in the middle of the desert is a very useful and rare occasion that maybe sometimes saves a group of people from dying in a cave.
There is
Star Wars.
Oh, that
one
kind of person,
wanderer
man.
whose party has died. They're low on water, and they'll happen upon that, and it will save them. And they will look up and see the shuttle and say, "Gods bless you, kind stranger who left us."
Fine.
As
I'll
Zora
score on
lifts
it
it into the
from
shuttle.
Zora.
They exist.
I'll like score on it from Zora, winky face. Like, there we go. Publicity stunt, man.
So I want to highlight back in Star Wars where writing your name on things isn't always the best policy, especially when you're super famous.
It's fine, mate. Like it's a
Sure,
publicity
like that's
stunt,
fine.
man.
Yeah. So you've written on a arguably stolen piece of property, Zora.
I would not have
That's,
done that.
that's
personally.
perfect. No, good. We're good. We're happy. Yeah. Okay.
Nah, you
That's
should
good,
just
mate.
change your name
He's
to
definitely
like
going to make that come back
Arrows.
somehow now.
It is. It's fine.
I would saw this. He will make us pay for our actions. Bullshit. Right.
Somebody is
His
going to find
actions.
that speeder bike. It's going to save them, like he says. They're going to find that like we drink a water because they found a speeder bike.
Except that,
And then they're gonna be like, "Thank you,
no,
Zora,
but what's
man."
actually going to happen
Good.
is they're going to figure out that we have been working together, right? Because they'll say, "What's this, Zora? This is the Vesk. Oh, it's the Vesk."
Do we care?
And then they'll find out that we were working. I mean, it could cause potential complications in our future dealings. And
Maybe, but
like next time, we'll just kill him. It's fine.
just fucking exactly. I'm more scared of Durwa. Like fucking fuck
I ain't
Durwa.
scared to. Yeah.
I'm scared of
No,
many
go-
things, but no Durwa.
So yeah, that happens. All of that nonsense, and I guess we get to time skip now, right? To try and catch up with our wonderful future android.
Fandroid.
So, very briefly, is there any last sentences people wish to add in to the current timeline before we jump to catch up with Alex? Or any last business you wish to
Only
attend
had a
to?
bomb.
Yeah. But
Oh, personally.
so nothing to do with Query, nothing to do with.
I mean, you should probably
plans-
check he is actually intact.
Oh yeah,
And then
maybe.
kill him probably
Maybe
because he isn't intact.
yeah, maybe de-digitized the G-Evolution.
I, mean,
Love
I love how you're like, I don't actually know what happened, but I have just accepted that Alice had it all in hand.
Listen, that's very endearing. Like, you know, he's learned to trust his crew. Isn't that sweet?
She is the first of the officers, so.
The officers.
And yeah. So if that's the case, then yeah, just redock on
We
the.
should
the thing.
debrief him though.
Yeah, probably should, and we can retroactive any of that nonsense. But let's have. I guess we're gonna have Query, in deep recovery, on the final hour. We're gonna have a Weird. Obviously, we've done some of your post-surgery commentary with Naz McKechlick, which was good. You're now on board the final hour because you are all still in orbit over Akaton, which is nice. We're all on the one ship, and yeah, that is Lyco. You've probably got several messages from associates of Grinning Durwa stating that your usefulness could come in handy if you are still available to Durwa. That I am assuming you've ditched for the 2-week period. Assuming you're still here and heard all that.
I am.
Good,
I'm
perfect.
going to replace that comm at some point.
Yes. You could, if you want to have done that, just burn cash and do it now.
How much is a comm?
I want to say it's 100.
100. You know what? Not only am I going to replace that one, I'm going to give the old one to and then unusually non-paranoid, but Lyko just appreciates that even if he tried to wipe it, CC would just recover anything he wanted, so he's just going to give it to CC.
Who feeds it to Ivan, who puts it on the mech at some point.
Okay, fair.
Yep. So yeah.
Right, so mark down 100, so we are... 1... Oh, for fuck's sake.
Luckily, it's all credits and not any gold, platinum, or nonsense. But yes, so I felt like you could afford that somehow, Lyko.
It's 190,000, right? Or
Yes,
yeah,
it was.
190,000.
Oh, you're so rich.
Too much money.
Right, so this is a Weird has just come back, I guess, from his dealings with Thanaida. After dropping Nazmik Eklik back off at his clinic, I think is the best place to pick up from, right? What's the scene in the briefing room now? I assume Weird maybe wants to catch people up on... I mean, luckily now you don't really need a chair, right? If you just center your gravity between your 4 legs now, I guess.
I am in the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a handy availability.
So I have 4 legs and interstellar business. How did you guys handle yourselves?
Just broke Query out of jail, even though he wasn't in jail, which Lyko and Zig put him in.
Didn't we just get him out of jail?
Yeah.
And then you put him back.
Kind of.
It wasn't necessarily jail. It was more of in the hands of sort of.
Alice puts her hands up, right, and goes, "As the first of the officers amongst us, the rescue mission was successful. The details were thin, but the success rate was high." That's all she offers.
Specifically, there was one mission and it was successful.
She nods. 2 missions, both were successful. Your recovery also.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
We took advantage of your counterpart, his similarity to your previous forms, and used that to our advantage in negotiation with Grinning Durwa, which had some unfortunate side effects, specifically in that he was injured. But we were able to recover him thanks to a speedy intervention from the captain and our new first officer, which, by the way, congratulations, it suits you.
She finger guns and winks at you.
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, I told you about a situation in which I stole from and slightly embarrassed Grinning Dola, and he wanted to kill me and my associates. And you took that as an invitation to commit fraud against him.
It's like, so Alice puts her finger up and goes, "Technically not illegal on Akaton."
Nothing is technically legal on Akaton. There is no law. The issue is
this is
when he
correct.
kills you.
We lost you if you were speaking there.
So the issue is when he kills you, which is not illegal.
Yeah, but that's...
But the lander was rigged to blow.
What lander?
And the shuttle.
Wait,
and the
I thought
shuttle
that was
bay.
a bluff.
And she looks at you and goes, "But how would it blow?"
I'm looking between Weird and Alice. Eyes narrowing.
She has learned from only so many of the crew, and they have taught her very unique gifts each.
Zig's questioning his wishes for a bomb.
If you have the option of making a real bomb, make a real bomb.
And she motions towards where and goes, "See?"
Look, it all worked out for the time being, aside from Durwa. But obviously for query, but he was eager to show his usefulness, and
I feel like he was probably
What is-
dropped off at Nazmakeklik's clinic. Let's face it. I feel like he's not on board.
I think that's wise.
And I feel like he's
Um,
in the secret room of Nazmakeklik's clinic and not in the, you smuggled him in a body bag and not...
Probably would have recommended a makeover for him as well.
Well, we'll see what Morty and Nazmakeklik come up with, right?
Oh, jeez! Nazgul accidentally put his ass in his face! That would be a fun character to play. Anyway, sorry.
Well, Morty, so if Lyco dies, you can play Morty, that's fine.
So yeah, look, it was high risk, high reward. Specifically, I got a lot of money from him. Also, potentially useful in that now a bunch of people have seen him be taken by what they'll have heard was a Vesk shuttle. So if people are snooping around, the first thing they're going to hear is that the Vesk have him.
Can I pause you here and say, Admiral, did you invite Thanida to this the crew debriefing?
Why not?
Good. So she's also
So
here.
what?
Just as I know who's actually here in this meeting, in case you're like, no, we didn't invite her.
I mean, everybody can be here if they wish to be
Cool.
part of the crew.
I'll say
And,
that
Well, we'll need someone to
ongoing
organize
armada.
there, presumably.
Well, the Euroflare could just be nearby, right? It could just have been
I
nearby.
don't-
Yeah, because obviously the shuttle was probably used. There's Euroflare to get Weird and all that moved around with Query and Nazmakeklik and all that nonsense. So, yeah. So I think Thanida will say, I am in the scene. She goes, what is the next course of action that we are to undertake? In her sexy black cocktail dress that she's wearing, which is very inappropriate for ship-to-ship wear.
if we don't have too much else to do in Hackathon at the moment, we want to get on to our business in Eox.
I'd recommend it, Admiral.
Captain's fine.
I thank you, Captain. It's unnatural. I spoke with Ramasethu, as you may have put together from our now recovered memories. Zig, for you, this is probably you'll have remembered all of the events already, but
Memories?
we've only been remembering.
Thanida says.
He, pointing at Zig, he did some time travel stuff, and it played hell with our memories, and everything should be in order. There just should be more than there should be.
Huh.
We should remember everything that happened as it happened, but also as it had happened previously.
My mind seems unaltered.
I don't know the significance of that, but okay.
Is that
Zig does.
is that in character, Zig, or is that?
That's in character. Definitely.
Zig.
What's happening?
Alice just says swearing is unbecoming of an officer.
Yes, apologies, Alice. Here's the deal. So, I suppose Lyco and Captain Admiral will remember how in the other timeline how we picked up Her Majesty. Like,
Yeah.
motions to
She
Thanida.
she like waves that off, like, humbly, and says, "Captain's fine."
Captain Majesty. And well, so the thing is, in the vault, the void egg was in that vault, and it's entirely possible, probable, hopeful that now that all this time stuff has happened, that the egg and potentially Thanida 2 is there too.
She narrows her eyes and
And-
goes, I don't ever recall, and I think I said this before when you brought this up, me having an egg, void or otherwise, within my vault.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing. You were locked. Right, You were locked up in your vault by
Yes,
Lantaran.
I was there. I recall my sister's betrayal.
And we got you out. Yes?
She just stares at you and looks at everybody else and goes, "Is Zig okay?"
And then I look at everyone else and go, but that didn't happen in this timeline.
She just looks at you like true concern on her face, right? And she's staring at you and she goes, "Perhaps this temporal event has taken its toll on you."
What do the rest of us remember having happened in this timeline then?
Everything.
Okay.
So everything that did happen and didn't happen. So obviously in the janked new timeline, you've never even like interacted with Himani, right? Beyond him turning up and saying, "Go fix this Drow Queen problem I've got," and then you didn't ever go and do that because Zig never time travelled the first time. And then, obviously, we know that was bullshit because you all did that. You all did all that in the actual game, the actual true timeline, not the
So
new
in the
one.
other timeline,
You
new
didn't.
timeline,
You didn't do any of the liquidated, Lantoral nonsense. No.
yeah, but we don't remember then getting her in the new timeline, but we remember getting her in the original timeline. Is that
Correct.
the right?
And
I
Yeah.
don't know about the timeline nonsense actually. Is that what
It's-
the others here?
I mean, she seems to, right? From this
What he's
conversation.
saying does make
True.
Well, I'm not going to say it makes sense, but in a circular sort of way, it's. I fucking hate time travel. He just sort of drops his head a little bit.
Like, I think
Just-
tonight I'd like to try and break the ice there, unless Zora talks over.
Oh no, I guess I was going to say this.
Go for it.
No, mate, it's just time bollocks.
And I think Thanida says, "I've only ever experienced time travel one way, and it's pretty slow." She kind of stares at everybody being blank.
Well, this guy around sometimes it's. Actually, to be fair, you've never dragged me around in the timeline with you. The other guys did at one point, though.
Yeah, I do remember that one time. That happens though.
Remember, you've got all the memories now. All the ones of the fake timeline that was replaced by Zig, and all the new ones, all the original ones from the actual game that we played,
So,
overlap.
how do you remember ending up in with us, Thanida?
She kind of goes, "Huh. We came to an arrangement where I dismissed my protective field around my... what's the word she'd use? Well, it sounds like a kind of oldie worldy term for like jailer, I guess. Jailer, right? Around my jailer. And then we left my vault together. We
Okay.
appeared on Castroval. And then she's looking at everybody like, why am I having to say this? Looking at it, we're kind of like suspicious of, don't you just remember this?
So this is all consistent.
It's the exact
so-
timeline of how you actually got her.
Yeah, of how
Yeah.
how it all actually happened.
So
initially.
what happened with the cunt, like when you, right? Because you were like, you're technically past. You know what I mean, right?
There's
You
only
know what I
one
mean?
Zig,
Right. Okay.
and he jumped
Uh-huh.
through the timelines, because remember, he left the timeline. That Zig, right? So Prime Zig left the timeline when he's jumped to the sun, because he mind linked with unconscious Weird.
Where's he been for
And
the next
then
last 100 years?
He vanished, right? Then we fast forward through those sessions of weird existentialism where he ended up on Galarian, and he asked to go back to like the graduation day before that. So
Mark 3 or
so,
whatever.
so yeah, so
Well,
Prime Zig
obviously
appears
like
there,
that
right?
time.
Wait. So Prime Zig appears there, right? Way back then, which means that timeline's original Zig is going through all the trauma of graduation day to catch up with Prime Zig. right? And then Prime Zig just hides in the universe for a year until he can time catching up with you guys on the Kivalari.
Okay.
Which means you still lost that Zig. The original Zig of that universe was still lost somehow.
Okay.
With that weird pseudo memory of, how did we lose him, actually? Right? Remember? Like the more you try and remember plot holes, the blurrier it gets. So, but now you know that Zig was assigned to the Azure Flare definitively because you've got all the memories back, and he was lost jumping to the sun. So there's still one Zig. Yep, you have him. Yes. There was briefly two Zigs, but then that Zig jumped through the sun.
What's happening now in game is that Lyko has got his board, you know, his
Yes,
cork
the
board out.
yeah, the holographic cork
Red
board.
strings and Sharpies.
Yep. I feel like you're welcome to just have that as a program. You can just summon the hologram of your cork board, because that.
Yeah, we need the explanation device.
Yes, which is what those lines were on that previous.
Yeah.
Like that's what those Akatonian lines were. That was me trying to explain the Zig timelines before that jump. So,
this part. You forgot that
Oh
part.
man, I'm playing a mundane character in the next game.
No, it's not much fun. So we all remember various versions of events, except from you. And Zig always remembered both versions, but we didn't. So I went to a Bone Sage who has a particular knowledge and power over memory, and she was able to assist us with covering our original memories, which helps contextualize a whole hell of a lot of what's going on, even if it still doesn't really make sense. Anyway, we should go to Eox.
Odd. That's the stuff that, well, I guess her memory didn't get affected because her memory didn't get affected by the gap as well, right? Like, she's like memory immune.
Who knows?
Immune.
So that pink line I've just added is the new Zig. That's Prime Zig's timeline, where he was normal up until a point, and then just ends up choosing to go back
This
and
looks
reliving
like
it.
fucking Hawkman's continuity.
Yeah, it's not far off that. So yeah, that was.
So you
Like,
don't
the
have
green's where he's an alien.
1 second.
The
What was
pink
that
is
weird?
where he's a god.
I was just saying, you don't have anything to do with the gap, do you?
Zig obviously somehow goes really quiet.
No.
Okay.
And Alice Lena goes, should he?
I don't know what he should be doing at this stage. I think the should haves and would haves of the universe have been well and truly fucked.
Kind of nods sagely.
Possibly because of the missing planet being put back together by techno gods.
So now just goes, hold on. Are you saying Galarian?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one.
Yep.
So Galarian is being rebuilt.
Yes.
Well,
She just looks between yes as well. I think Alice leans into you, Zora, and says, what's Galarian? I mean, like, yeah, like, arguably, like, you two probably know the least.
in this system, I'm not from this part last week. Apparently these people lost a planet.
That's really irresponsible.
Quite.
Look, it was a long time ago, and no one knows what happened.
You say that, but
Oh, for
And-
fuck's sake!
Zig looks at Thanaida and goes,
That is the thing where she looks over her shoulder and looks back at you. What?
"Were you there?"
No, I was imprisoned by my betrayal of a sister. Or have you forgotten that already?
And then Zig's mind obviously flashes to the children of Thanaida and Lantrell.
Mm-hmm.
Is
On-
it common
on
knowledge
Galarian.
that elves are Galarian?
I mean, you could roll culture if you really wanted some in-depth
Oh,
answers.
shall
Yeah,
I?
yeah, why not?
A cheeky little culture roll.
Look at us getting all the rolls in.
Culture.
Okay, yeah. So you know that elves were on Galarian long ago, but they originate on Castrovel, and they used fucking magic stargates. That I can't remember the exact term. I can't remember what the term is for the gates, but they do have a fancy. Like, let's just call them elf gates for now, because I can't remember the term. But they used, like, the elves were on Galarian, because you got 31. That's pretty good. Elves were on Galarian. People obviously thought, oh, they're cool magic elves, and then they all left. They exiled for a bit, and then came back, like, say, hundreds of years later. And they used these elf gates to do it, and nobody obviously necessarily knew where they went. They just went to fucking Elfland, right? According to the people of Galarian. But obviously that's because nobody had a solar system.
Yeah, it's a very Fey thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Castrovel is the elf, like,
Wait,
homeworld.
you elves, your people were on Galarian, right? Before standard interplanetary travel, you had gateways.
Yes.
Do you know what happened to Galarian?
She does that thing where she kind of, like, the incredulous look.
No, that's what you just asked.
And then she, like, looks around and she goes, I was...
I know, sorry.
I get that we've had memory problems, apparently. However, no. I was imprisoned by my sister, and from the calendars, and she brings up, like, the timeline again from, like, the holo display in front, which very proficiently for her, highlights the, calendar, and she goes, give or take, and the gap is just a big blurb on it. Give or take this 500 years is how I was out of commission. So.
Have you been on Galarian though?
Yes, my kingdom is in Galarian. Was. She corrects herself.
I think Zig raises a hand, like...
I think everybody looks at you, and then Alice goes, permission to speak, officer.
Is he doing that?
Pardon? No, this is really awkward. That's fine.
See that noise enough?
Shout ranks, all of you.
Forgive me for asking. Are you a grandmother?
Alice goes, no.
Not you.
Oh.
Chief Officer 1, First Officer.
First of the officers.
First of the officers, Alice.
And then Thaida just looks between the two of you and goes, oh, me?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Oh, I really want a mind like Thaida, but I really don't.
Do it!
Will I get a new colour ready for this timeline picture?
Do it!
It's gonna look something like this. Hold on.
It's an
it goes
unbelievably
forward,
bad
then it
idea,
goes
and
back a bit, then it goes forwards. Then it does this sort of like up and down motion, and then just appears up here with no reason. Then there's like a little swirl like that, and then another one of those for good measure.
So, I'm going to tell you
Oh, no,
why
I
you
can't
should
do
do
that.
it. First of all, it's an excellent way to convey very wonky information that's difficult to express in words, especially when you're people coming with a very different frame of reference. Secondly, it's got to work out eventually, right?
That was my thinking, and then I realized every time I've thought that, it's never worked out. But I think
This will be the time, Zig. This will be the
Zig
time.
Zig is going to ask Thanida's permission to mind link with her.
Yeah, that's probably a nice idea.
And he's going to say, "May I show you?"
And she kind of stands there, slightly oblivious to what you mean. And then she goes, well, show us. Or do you wish privacy?
No, I wish to link minds again,
She goes,
but this time I'm asking permission, like you asked.
she kind of, very like kind of, you know, again, as if she's taking her job very seriously. Like no like cheeky smile or anything. And she goes, what is it you wish to convey?
I want to show you what I saw on Galarian.
Yes, you have my permission for that.
And I guess I walk over, maybe kind of like reach my hand out, maybe just waiting for her to.
There was a very large round
like,
table in the
instigate
middle of the big hollow projector
contact.
thing, so yeah, like, I guess you like walk around to each other wherever you are. Because I
Yeah.
imagine everybody's standing dramatically lit by, underlit by blue light from the hollow projector. And just walk over, and yeah. You're gonna send
so
her
he waits for her
everything
to-
on Galarian?
Do you know what? Yeah, and he's going in with the I'm going to be as open as possible, but he's gonna like, just play it.
Yeah.
From the start, not the very start. That's a terrible idea. But
Mhm.
from all the Galarian stuff.
Cool. Paste in
Yeah, show
mind link.
the fruit.
Based in that montage.
That random fruit, that guy, like just leaving him, like the random cart guy. She just Superman away,
Oh yes,
like
flying
just,
off the back of the
just-
cart. God damn it. But yeah, no, just all of it.
as I said, paste it in. We'll have it committed to the timeline. Which one we don't know.
Somewhere there. And then I think like more specific, like hyper kind of focused on the Thanida and Lanterel part.
Did you
and
just
then
doodle
someone
something
talk-
on the timeline?
Yeah, that's where that is.
I mean, paste it into the goddamn chat, the ability
Yeah,
you're
that's
using.
it. No, I prefer this.
Like,
Oh,
this is
the
just...
mind link.
Oh my
Sorry.
god.
Oh man, I've forgotten how to play this game.
Oh my god. Aye. So, fuck.
I forgot that it's the
Memories are
actual
tough.
ability that I have.
Memories are tough. Yes. This isn't just a bullshit time travel powers you have apparently co-opted. Yes.
No.
So, yeah, like you mind link, you convey all that information. I think she like gets startled and kind of like pulls back slightly. Kinda like, you know, breaks the connection after a moment. And then she goes, how were you there?
I think Zig looks at weird and says, well, we mind linked and then I spoke to, I can't remember which one it is, first, second, or third, one of those, and he'll call it the number as opposed to triune. And they showed that they were going to rebuild Galarian and just pop it back.
I think it was second that you met, I want to say.
Was the second?
Because I think
Yeah.
second was the one that was building it all, right? See the one that
Okay,
was the
yeah.
broken up planet? It was building. And then first is I think the one you met on the planet as it started to break up.
Right, okay, yeah.
And then Weird met third.
At the arse end of the universe somewhere.
Later. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure that's how
yeah,
that worked.
So yeah, he would say that then. I was like, I met
Alex, does
second.
that sound right to you? Did I mix up the order? I think that's right.
No, that sounds correct.
Yeah, it sounds right. Second, first, third. Yeah.
Yeah, I meant second, and he told me.
So remember, like, second was whoever, like, had the fucking let's stare at the cool picture of the planet, and then the person on the planet that when time
Was the
froze
one I
around you,
spoke
that's
to.
first.
Right, that's first. Okay,
Yes.
so I probably wouldn't have mentioned second. Then I
Mhm.
think he would have just said I spoke to first.
Mhm.
That's the one who took the form of Edzo. 14.
Yes,
Which is the
Yeah,
deepest,
okay, cool.
though.
first, obviously.
It's all very confusing.
Okay.
And just says, yeah, they showed me all of this and told me they're going to put it back when it was.
And did they give you an indication as to when this would happen?
Well, the problem is once it's done, they're going to put it back so that it was never gone.
But that hasn't happened. And she like leans over and just like pulls her hand up over the holo display and pulls up the solar system map. And then just almost as if to double check that Galarian hasn't been there the whole
Yeah.
time. And she goes,
Yeah,
see?
it's not happened yet.
But if they are successful, then it would have
If they're
happened.
successful, it will have happened. So I guess they're done successful now.
Which means, arguably, yous being aware of this process means you may be complicit in its failure.
I think Zig sighs in like some form of relief because I think he made it very clear how he feels
Like,
about
I
that.
think Tanida pivots and looks at you weird, right? To almost looking for some kind of confirmation or, more information.
Just because we are experiencing matters as if it has not yet happened, that doesn't mean that it won't eventually happen, and that this experience will become null and void. We perhaps are just a subjective blip, an expression of a qualia that is fleeting in an accident of time, and we mistake the fact that we are feeling it now for the idea that this is the reality concrete. Just as one may develop amnesia, that does not mean that the events didn't happen just because you cannot remember them. We may simply be the memories that will be eliminated for the universe.
She narrows her eyes and goes, I think I would like to be introduced to a temporal mechanic physicist. She kind of like narrows her eyes and looks off to the side and grips her chin. And there's not really much you need to read into to understand that she's considering upgrading her knowledge. And then she says, so we are what, rounding errors in this great universal equation?
I don't think it's a matter of rounding in mathematics. We are a temporary eddy.
She kind of narrows. She goes, I just like this. This makes my existence seem insignificant.
With all due respect, your existence has always been insignificant.
She smirks and she says, we shall see. That's pretty much her input for that moment. Clearly, anybody listening can hear the cogs turn in her brain as she's clearly trying to work out how to become smarter on temporal mechanics. So,
It's got a point, though, right? It's got a point.
who amongst the
Right.
people who have spoke? Yeah.
Farida. It was Farida, right? That was Farida
Yeah,
speaking, right? Right,
Yeah, Alice has never been that coherent.
by that logic, why we even gone to Yorks and stuff. Like, it's gonna get wiped away anyway. So just like, or gay boy, these things.
Because
I think the phrasing of Ergy boy would be better stated as always Urgalas, the character that you have shortened to Ergy boy, because I think the phrase "our gay boy" is not a great shorthand.
You are
Oh,
gay.
fuck.
Yes, the Uruguay Simpsons "you are gay" moment. Yes, just as a disclaimer. Urgalas is the person he was referring to.
I think at this point, Lyko has probably given up and walked away.
Yeah. So you awkwardly navigate around Ivan, who's just been standing as a cube in the meeting room,
Oh, how cubic of him.
and you leave the briefing room. And I think Alice says, dismissed, then?
I'd give her a thumbs up on the way back.
And Alice turns around to everything and goes, so what is our plan?
In terms of what?
That. And she just looks at you blankly.
What that? What that?
You know what we're doing.
What?
Like at all.
Got the yolks?
Okay. Why though?
Hopefully to get Cindy L's electroencephalon in order to get him back in the game and screw up the Mageshan. What's that guy's name again? Tectalanus? Yes.
Tectalanus, yeah.
Screw up Tectalanus, yeah.
Who is Tectalanus?
Bone Sage guy that's trying to take over the Yoks in Yins. I was trying to think of it like an empire. I was about to call them an Eoxian empire, but I was like, there's not an empire.
So we bring back Tectalanus to rule the Oxians.
Oh, we bring back Cindy else so we can stop Tectalanus from taking over the Oxians.
Right. Who is in charge of the Oxians just now?
Tectalanus.
Right.
Well, he's pretty much in charge of the Oxians.
So how does Sindel stop him becoming in charge if he's already in charge?
It's more influential, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah.
She looks to you, Lyko, when Zora obviously looks to you.
I think at this point I'd already left. Though.
He'd already left.
I'm afraid I'm just
I've
adding
just
that
felt it.
out of character.
I've been plugging into the room then, like,
Okay.
like it's my influential, right?
And she goes,
That's what I got.
okay.
Then.
Why is
I mean,
Demogesh
you
working with
could always
Tectalanus?
just
He's trying to get sway within the Pact Worlds, I believe, so he can eventually take over it.
But now he has you.
He
Aren't you
doesn't
more
have-
influential in the Pact world than Tectalanus?
No,
Right.
don't think so.
Right. So is he like a fleet admiral?
Yeah.
Nods. Okay. We don't report to him.
Wait, when I do the quotes, finger quotes, report to him.
Tectalanus.
No, Demogesh.
Okay, so
I
is
don't-
he also a fleet admiral?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you need a new promotion.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Good. I think at that point,
Hopefully there'll be no admirals after this.
tonight I think when you say that, Alice gives you a worried look briefly, but doesn't say anything. And then Thanaida turns to Weird and says, regardless of events unbecoming, the fiscal arrangement that we have made,
Yes.
the predicted required money would be somewhere near 1 million credits to get us off the ground. This is, as I said, something I will supply. However, if you find the requirement to sell shares with your 49% that's split somehow between you and your business partner, Dr. Naz McEcklick, then this would not be terrible, for we will need to fund staff. I suggest we hire enough staff with enough redundancy that if we are undone in time, perhaps something of our legacy will live on.
Very well. I will see if Naz McEcklick has appropriate staff available.
Ideally not his ill-attired colleague.
Does he have a role at all? Or
If Naz McEcklick requires him to have a role, I have no objections to this. I wish not to hear his voice.
that can be arranged?
Nothing permanent.
Cut out his vocal cords. Yeah.
She nods. Nothing permanent, of course.
Of course.
And she kind of nods and she goes, I think all things considered this will be quite profitable. She kind of nods.
Is the intention?
I believe what may be wise would be to perhaps do some pro bono work on Query. Wouldn't you say?
Yes, I believe Naz McEcklick has intentions for more pro bono work in general. But Query
Yes.
would be a good option to start on.
If he is in any way influential, his... And she thinks for a bit and she goes, his experiences may be beneficial as a spokesperson. PR, I believe, is very important.
From Query,
Do you have another use for him?
I merely have concerns about making him public.
Then
Given
perhaps you could use all that skill. And she looks you up and down. Almost predatorily, right? You know? With that look that she gives sometimes to the captain, and then, or the admiral now. And she says, I'm sure you and the many talented people of this crew could fashion an identity for him that would be less ripple-inducing for him.
I should go and talk to Lyko about that then.
She smiles and she goes, a fine idea. I will be on the Azure Flare if anyone needs me. She kind of like vaguely waves that from you to the group that's left in the briefing room, and then just makes her way out. Smiles at Zig on the way by.
I think Zig kind of just like nervously smiles. I think his mind's sort of racing.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Anything else in the briefing room to be attended to?
Nothing from me.
Nothing from me.
Okay, well, what's next, guys?
Not I can think of. So I was just getting straight to Yux. Is that a thing? We're just gonna.
Relaiko, do you wanna perhaps
Well,
at least just checkpoint making your contact connections here? We'll just say that you go off and make preparations
yes,
for...
indeed.
Yes, wherever you go, like, I guess the Comaray, where Finn is on the bridge. And he goes, Officer
Something
Quint!
we may have prepared over the week. Yes, and
Welcome to the bridge.
Finn. Thank you. I believe we have a course prepared.
I believe we have had a course prepared in our databags for some time. Yes. Which one are you referring to specifically?
Eox.
Okay, nods. Are we setting off, so to speak?
I nod.
So does he. And then, he blinks off. And the ship just starts to, like, warm up its drift drive.
Thank you, Finn. It's sort of just looking out the viewing, the viewing window, and like, let's go.
And then you hear in your head, good luck from a
There's a slight half smile.
In the meeting room, as everybody was leaving, all the prepare to jump into drift space alarms come on, and I was like, what the fuck? Since, it seems like your ship's about to just jump into drift space.
This is what happens when you deputise me. Steal vehicles.
I brace myself.
I'll just go into open comms. Who's in the bridge?
Captain Admiral.
I love it.
I've asked Finn to begin the course for Reacts.
Good. I guess that settles it.
Then Ida just looks at everybody as she was like, in the hallway, as you were half in the hallway, and she goes, "What the fucking hell is this? I was not armed at Yorks."
He's still in the ship.
Yes. And then,
Oh Lord.
Oh Lord.
yes.
Bloody Lord.
And then she just marches off.
This is why we should have had someone in our ship so that we could have brought it with us. Or
Well, she just like marches off to where she thinks the bridge is. Anyway, and I feel like he'll make way. So I guess you're just gonna jump to Eox and then phone your friend. I guess is that the plan, Lyko? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So long as I know there's a plan somewhere. Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's much point contacting too far ahead.
Sure. Correct. Well, I
don't
guess
like to
you
give
can
away
roll the
my
d6
moves.
for the jump drive, right?
I will roll the d6.
And this is a jump drive 2, the final hour has, isn't it? So
It's 2.
it's a day it will take to get there in drift, which is fine.
Hey.
Because we're half that, don't we? That's how it works. So
Yeah, I believe so.
yep, sounds good. It's only a day away, which means the orbital alignments are nice. Yeah, and then we just have the twisting of space, and then the descent into drift. And I don't know, to get anything else to add, because I feel that's a pretty good place to end it. It's a good.
Oh really? Personally.
Then yeah, I think that's maybe the best place to end the session on that. Perhaps with some images of the hangar bay with CC firing up all the mech that he's obviously been working on for 2 weeks, since he wasn't at the meeting, and you just hear the of the charge, and as you jump into drift space, he vanishes in the mech. And that's the final shot. Yeah,
Okay.
CC's gone.
Great.
And
Maybe he's in the Azure Flare.
No.
Oh.
so here we are at the end of that session. What would you like to name that session?
I really like Temporal Eddy. Like,
Yeah, but I feel like it's a great NPC name. It's good. I think it's IE, isn't it? Is it?
I'll check it.
I don't know.
I feel like it,
I think it's a word.
Eddy.
but I don't know.
I'm actually not sure. I just don't know why my gut is to put it as an IE, but
River Eddy. No, it's double DY.
okay.
Oh no, wait, it's no. Okay, right. Okay, so obviously the plural is IE. So yeah, no, it's an eddy is an eddy. Double DY.
Mm.
I assume we're talking about rivers and not
Mm. Let's have a quick look.
like the person Eddy,
Yeah.
which I guess is the same.
Yeah, because a circular movement of water causing a small whirlpool, and it is EDDY. Okay.
Yeah.
And the verb is of water, air, or smoke move in a circular way.
Oh.
And eddied would be IED. Eddied.
Right.
Okay, interesting. Anyway, so besides word a day Starfinder. Right. Any other takers then for names for the session? We've got one. Anything else, guys?
Huh.
I also liked more pressing replacements from the gold chat.
Sure.
But
We may have made some strategic errors at the end there.
your old memories.
With the night, but you know what? That's fine. So
Could be worse.
100%. Yeah.
All things considered, that went well.
I like it.
100% mission success rate, and I am voting for myself without a hint of shame.
If I accepted that, I would ditch mission. I would ditch one of the words, put it that way, because it's too long, sadly.
100% mission rate.
Mission rate. Yay! I went from joke to that was good. Mission or just mission success rate is actually quite a good title.
Yeah.
100% mission success is pretty good.
Right, we've got one vote, and it was from the person who suggested it. So
I'm going to take that. I'll take that, right? Because I can't think of anything else.
I managed in another game. I managed to more or less suppress my obsession with naming things. I've been quite subdued with it, but every now and then.
So we're taking mission success rate, I guess, is what we're taking. Or just, or what we're ditching, because we could have 100% success rate, 100% mission rate, 100% mission success.
100% success rate, I think, works best of those.
Right, we'll take that then. Let me.
Because it's instantly recognizable, right?
Like so, 100% success rate.
Yeah.
Or 100% mission success, was it?
I transferred those emojis to that answer.
That's fine. I'll just accept that was the winner and move it. Okay, so there we go. 100% success rate, and
$1,000,000,000%.
I guess this is probably a new chapter now. It feels very chapter changey.
Chapter
13.
Chapter several. Verse 2.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Right, so we will return for session 83 at some point, maybe in the next year. So we've done that. Goals. That's what we do next. That's the thing. That's the format. So, any goals happen?
Yeah.
Well, you tell me which ones.
We retrieved query. And I think there's been substantial progress made in establishing the cybernetics business. I don't know if it's complete yet, really, but it's good stuff.
I mean, again, yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily complete yet, mostly because it was 5 minutes after the last time I explained how that isn't complete yet.
Yeah, we have embarked for Eox. We're maybe not quite prepared.
I would say you robbed them of the prepare part, yes.
We're doing it backwards. That's fine. That is. Look, if
we have a day to prepare.
Yeah, you have a day.
If there is an us strategy, if there is a Starfinder, the Fragments of Trinity approach, then that would be act first, prepare later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that feels
shoot
very accurate.
Questions and ask gun.
Yes, fair.
I like it.
So, anything else?
Starring Leslie Nielsen.
Anything else happen in terms of goals completed? Yes, no, maybe?
Don't think so.
Okay, any goals changing? I see that you've put a new one in.
I've changed my tape. I guess in order to gain leverage on the credit.
Okay.
Bop.
So I assume the credit is in fact the Mogesh.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Because I'm just wondering, Zora's opinion of certain NPCs, like, that's a wide net. So, yeah.
It's a credit. But very...
Just feel like you've also regarded Edgar and Query as this in the past, so... and
Oh,
possibly
no.
MO, and
Oh.
you know, yeah. it's-
Oh, Edgar's a heathen.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay. He's a heathen. Of course. My mistake. Okay. Right. So we've got meet with them again in order to gain leverage on said cretin. Okay. Cool. We've still got retrieve Cinderella's electroencephalon from Lyco. We still have established the cybernetics business. Anything else you want to do instead of that weird for the EOX kind of mission, or are you happy as is?
Keep it as is for now. I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
Hold on to that thought.
Okay.
Just in case.
I will,
Oh.
I guess. Zig?
My fear is, this is my fear. Because Thanida seems to only exist in the old timeline, like her memory-wise, as far as I've been able to discern. My fear is that so does the vault. And I'm like,
Okay.
ooh.
Can't you just ask for an idea to go into the vault?
Let's go and have a wee check.
Wait, just ask.
So,
Thing.
if that is your fear, what's to say when she opens to leave the vault again, she'll come back to your timeline?
I think this is a case
We need
of...
to create a backup timeline.
I don't think that's a bad idea, to be perfectly given this clusterfuck of a game. It's not the worst. Isn't that just a Star Wars game? Yeah, save in file 2.
Batman would
Yeah.
do.
Was it save in
Yeah.
slot 2? A new memory card, yeah. It's Sure Agency memory cards, yeah.
Yeah, and also, yeah, slot 2. Slots in memory card.
Yup. So I've finally got a
Also
newfangled
specifically
8 megabyte, memory card. Oof. The
We
chunky
used
boy.
to have little icons that represented the game. You'd have like a Crash Bandicoot that circled around, and you clicked on it, and that was your save data.
Yeah. Ivan just wobbles back at you. So, what about you goal-wise then, Zig? What's happening? What's happening? Are we keeping it? Are we...
I think... Well, she's along for the ride anyway, so we might as well. I've got a day to talk to her. Kind of I've done. I think I've done enough of the speaking. It's about getting the access now, and just saying, can you just go in? Like, you know
Well,
what?
I mean-
maybe even I don't need to see it. Just go in and see if there's an egg there. One day, when we have access,
Yeah.
when we're not busy.
Yeah. Or in drift space, and who knows if you can even access the vault from the drift space. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm unsure of like the accessibility of vaults, to be honest.
Me too.
Because I just keep getting thrown into them when I don't want to be in them. So
Yeah. It's
I thought it would be easy considering I want to now.
yeah. That's not always how it works, sadly, isn't it? I was like, oh, I'm willing now. Oh, well, tough. Yeah. Right.
Oh, it's a hard life.
So if you're keeping that, that's fine. General goals. What is pertinent to the upcoming mission? And in theory, we will have a session next week if everything goes to plan, because it's the following one that we are down a member.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. But depending on what happens, we might play anyway. Depends where we are in the end of the next one. Can put music in the backpack for a bit.
He's working on the new alternate timeline. It's all
Yeah, the backup timeline. It's a new conspiracy Craig device that you've space googled. Yeah. Keep in mind, CC vanished as well. You're going to Eox of all places, which is littered with planetary defences.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
Yeah,
It'll work out in the end.
it's just
That's why it's
Collins
called
decided
EX.
he's fed up with the game and he's just gonna we're done. To Eox, let them destroy us. Done. So yeah.
Get progress in here.
So speak with the Kevlar crew, gain useful query and or MO info. Those three arguably could be replaced for more pertinent goals. Unless you can somehow get query info. Well, no, because you're not on the ship anymore. I moved into Nazma Keklik's lab. That was probably a smart idea,
Oh.
given what's happened. So,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, I would say that the info gathering on people who aren't with you, or at least I hope Emma isn't with you, and the Kivalari crew one is maybe worth shelving, because
me, Emma, all along.
keep in mind you are almost level 14, so you might want goals that you can easily achieve next session, so that when things on the Ox happen, you can be level 14 for those things.
I can't really think of what to put in though, right? Like,
No.
we've already got like a lot of it we need to do in there. Like, preparing them back for the Orcs. We need to prepare, we'll just probably just make a plan. Already.
Because at the moment you've got get into archive, find electroencephalon, leave archive with electroencephalon, something Syndial.
Right, so I guess. Don't know, right. I don't know if this is too vague. Archive. Something like that. Like.
So, for those at home that can't see this, find location of the archive. That is just archive.
Yes.
Yeah,
Something like that.
find the location of the archive. I mean, I feel like Ramasethu probably told you where it was, so that's not a big deal. I feel like that otherwise it's pointless.
Gain entry to maybe would be alright. Have you got a gain entry to yet?
Get info on the archive.
But what do you need? What info do you need on the archive? Right.
Defences mostly, really. I guess is probably what we need.
You were told what that was. It was the archivist.
Kill the archivist.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is that the only defence?
That's the one Ramasethu said was important.
I mean, I'm thinking of like guards and.
Yeah, it's almost like
nonsense
Ramasethu
as
said.
well.
The problem you will have is the archivist, who is like the guardian or whatever the fuck. I tried to avoid using the terms vault and guardian when we're talking about a guarded vault full of.
Guardian?
Yeah, the Gold Guardian. Yeah. Sounds
Yeah, so-
weirdly French.
So we kind of know everything over the archive then.
Yeah.
So, I'm an ideal son.
Well, one of the problems is going to be, obviously, getting in, dealing with the archivist, and that's then getting out, really. But, obviously, getting in and out are almost, arguably, auto-completes.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what problems there are, they're just assumptives. So, using things that you do have knowledge of, like obviously, because in an ideal world you'll get in to the archive, you'll get Syndial's electroencephalon, and then you will leave. So what then?
Obviously, return to Akaton to deliver it to Ramasethu?
Yeah, so deliver electroencephalon to Ramasethu is a valid goal. Because remember, you could give it to Q-Bob. Probably for a moon.
Yeah.
Could give it to MO.
No, I don't think that dumbass is...
You could literally give it to anybody you've met, in fact. And arguably, excluding people like Morty. What was that? Sorry, Old Man Guns? Yeah, track him down. That could be one of your blank goals. Track down Old Man Guns, see what he's up to.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got deliver electroencephalon to Ramasethu. Right, so assuming that goes well, what's next after that?
Kill God and take his place.
Agree. Let's do it, man.
I mean, that's
Finally, somebody's on board, man. Finally, somebody's
it's
on
been
board.
like how many? I think that's been for like 50 sessions. That's been a thought. So like,
I'm finally starting to convert on one by one, bit by bit.
Kill God.
It's
Yep.
good, man.
Yeah, so, right. So what are you saying? Like, get the
So,
get
preparing
there,
them back for
get
Eox,
there.
right? You've done half of that, right? So let's say next session you manage to get prepared, you get like in contact with your smuggler dude, you then get onto Eox, you get to the archive, you get past the archivist, you get the electroencephalon, you get out, you give it to Ramasethu to do whatever fucking bullshit necromancy brings him back. Sindail's back. What's next for the group?
Excellent question.
Hopefully get Sindel to fuck about with Tetlanis, and I guess we start fucking about with Mr. Demigesh. Prod. Next.
Sure.
Okay, so that kind of circles
Honestly,
back
I
up to
haven't
your
got
goal.
this far ahead.
It's okay, but it comes back up to meet with Demogesh in order to gain leverage on him. And arguably, you could deliver Sindail to Demogesh. Since
Oh, no,
you've,
guys, fucking do that shit.
I mean, but you are like third tier in the Viscarium now,
Mhm.
right?
Sure.
Like with the Imperatrix being 1, and Demogesh and Matva being 2.
You're a pretty big guy.
Mhm.
Arguably, you're taller now.
Morally speaking.
The badges are actually just high heels you wear.
Platforms, mate.
Yeah.
Platform.
So, okay, right. So meet with Demogesh to gain leverage. But then, what's after that? What do you do after? So, like this timeline that we're kind of generating, right? So what comes next, or what is in addition to that? So, because so far we've got everything. It syncs up quite well so far, right? Because obviously retrieving valuable stuff in addition to what you're getting, importantly from Eox, just happens. You're going to go back to Akaton anyway, which could be good or bad depending on the query and or a thingy situation, Grinning Durwa situation. But then delivering that to Ramasethu and then delivering whatever stuff you get back to Bob. You know, that all kind of neatly ties itself up. Assuming Ramasethu is still on. Obviously Akaton isn't just magically wherever she needs to be. And yeah, then you've got phone up to Mogesh and arrange you face to face. What's everybody else going to do? Is everybody coming with you? Is that the plan?
We might as well, right?
Right. So what's everybody else doing when they're there?
I guess we don't. Everybody needs to go there, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know how
What's the
eager
point?
I am to directly interact with.
Well, keep in mind it'll be
Mogesh,
like
avoidable.
if it's where you assume they will be, it'll be above Triaxis, right? Assumedly, that is the last known location of like the Viscarium fleet. So if he hasn't moved, he'll be there. Which means you could do stuff near there. You could go to Versus and stuff, right? Like,
True. Yeah, to versus wouldn't be a bad plan. We still have to chase up to that lead.
if Weird does some PR work on Versus, that's a cybernetics capital really in the system. You could sell some shares, try and work some business minutia.
I am 1 on 1 diplomacy.
So I mean, if anything, at least you're trustworthy, right? And yeah, like there's that, and obviously Zig just talked to Thanaida to, I guess, appease your goal line or go to the sun again and again, maybe.
And again.
So yeah.
One more time.
So in all that, who's going to try and do what to learn about MO? Because that's still a goal slotted here,
Question.
right? So does that have a place still?
I think it does, because I think it's important.
Okay, well why don't you
because
try
we
it?
need to know what we're up against.
You could always
I could maybe
Yeah.
try slotting it in alongside some of my other Skullduggery.
And we know from the cutscenes that her and Himani have at least spoke to each other. And arguably, somebody in the group, as long as Himani remembers you, could at least ask for some kind of meeting with him. Whether or not he accepts it is irrelevant, but he did approach you to work for him.
It's just the weirdest feeling you were going to see whether or not he exists. And I was like, no, he definitely exists.
No, he
But then
does.
He didn't say that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, why did I think he was going to say that?
Maybe I did in a different timeline that we've now since replaced. But yeah, like so there's, we know in the cutscene they've interacted. And you do have well, if we're above Triaxis, we could check in with Himani if he's had anything to pursue with Himani. given that you also delivered dragon bones to him, whether wittingly, unwittingly, or otherwise.
Kill the dragon, slay the dragon.
We're back
Strong
on
enough
that,
for
yeah.
that point, right?
It's up to you. Like, as I said, it's just something I want to point out about the overlap of plot at this point. Being in Triaxis isn't terrible.
I demand to slay a dragon. At least once per RP.
You should play a dragon. Maybe seppuku. So yeah, if that's used though, like these are just suggestions because I feel like I would like you to level up. So I'm giving you as many opportunities to do so as possible without just saying just level up now.
Your level would be good. I mean, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4.
You need 14 of those complete goals, right? And you have something like 12, so you need 2 to level up.
Yeah, we have 12. So
you need 2 goals to level up, which is not terrible.
Mine's like all of it, all of stuff is the York stuff, which I don't think is going to be simple, right? I really don't think it's going to be simple.
So one of the most technologically and necromantically advanced races in the entire system that terrify the Viscarium. It's not going to be simple. This is also where Lyco died.
Oh, I died in Absalom.
Absalom.
It was a relic. It was in a ship.
I thought you died on Onyx.
No, it was on a ship in
Okay.
docking in Absalom, which was holding Eox.
Maybe one of the
relic.
stories was that. Maybe that was the one I was going to suggest, because I think that was what was in my brain when we originally spoke about it. But yeah, I think you're completely right, it wasn't.
So he had been working, like, he had visited Eox as part of this, or sort of like infiltrating or whatever, or observing what was believed to be illegal smuggling, and then it transpired it was, and then he got zapped by a necromancer.
Fair. It happens to the best of us.
He got better.
So,
Let's get Necromancer's one.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
you all have a magical plan that involves you guys defeating an Eoxian.
My plan was we wing it.
Perfect.
I mean, it's as good as any.
I will let you know now that I am not going to be playing NPCs on your side. FYI. If combat appears. Just gonna let you know that. That is a very important thing to know. Because
We'll go there, we'll figure out what we can about this archivist and how to get into the archive. We'll get in, we will do what we can and what we must.
it'll be fine, right? It'll just work out. I wouldn't be worried about it. I have faith in you guys.
Never worried.
Anybody that wants to join to replace. I mean, she's an interesting wild card that seems to be elsewhere right now, right? Turns out the archivist is SK. Dun dun
I would
dun.
like to know, like, if we know, like, basically abandoned the Azure file, Azure.
Yes, it is
Well.
literally unmanned.
That
Except
was
Cecil.
a mistake.
I mean, what's
It
the
was
chances
one
of
of the-
piracy above Akaton, right? Besides high. So, yeah. That's goals, right? I feel like we've left MO in there, so...
CC is totally jumping back, right? So we can get the Azure file.
That's just something that was deliberate on CC's part. Maybe he was just running a test and you just jumped into drift space. And it also interacted with the drift drive he has taped to his mech suit. Yeah. Wasn't it something like, this is really ill-advised but very exciting? Something like that. It was his technical assessment of it.
Who am I to stop these?
I mean, to be fair, he's been building it for 2 weeks, so if it's taking him that long, it's obviously going to be super efficient, yeah. And it now has Lyco's old comm components in it, so it have been recycled by the wonderful Ivan.
What? I can't believe.
I mean, well, that or he'll become some kind of mecha time traveling god. It'll be fine. He's got a lot of timelines to catch up on to be the time travel god of this team. So yeah, it'll be fine. But yeah, goals are done. We did manage to get one complete that session. That was good. Nice to start the ground running, or hit the ground running, I guess. Start the ground running is good. In fact, we'll just leave it as that.
Round Start the ground.
2 more goals to hit 14. Very doable next week. Very, very doable. Maybe not with the goals slotted, but very doable next week. And yeah, we'll see what happens then. Let's do some wrap-up chat, and let's start us off with sadly the quietest member of our session, purely because of how long it takes to catch up with 2 weeks of time jumping. Weird.
What up?
What up?
Yeah, no, it was a fun little session to listen to. I sometimes enjoy the ones that are me light, while I just sit and enjoy my crew members fucking everything up.
Yeah, I've done a fucking grand job. Yes, grand.
Yeah, I would say we were very good.
Yeah.
Things were achieved.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, it went reasonably well. But I do have some concerns for the future of everything.
Yeah, that's fair in general for this game. Mm-hmm.
And the past of everything too.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
No, it was. No, things were achieved,
Yeah.
which is fine.
You know, occasionally I'm asked by other people what's happening in my Monday game. I mean, I try and explain the tiniest bit about the timelines, and they go, "What?" And I go, "Yep, that's the game." And they go, "Okay."
Yeah, no, that's the correct response. No, I did thoroughly enjoy it. We had some choices being made, obviously, by Lyco. That I'm not sure that they were the smartest, but we'll see how they play out.
I mean, there were definitely choices made by Lyco.
Yes, events occurred. Yes, the idea of following up one let's piss off a gangster with another let's piss off a gangster is
Well,
In his
I'm gonna say I
defense, the
think those
Jedi
guys
were
did
evil.
great work.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's hard to directly trace it back to you unless anyone has seen you do anything ever together.
yeah. At least we haven't been associating with highly public faces like celebrities, politicians. That one undead dude from the Stewards.
Mm-hmm.
You're fine. Like nobody will ever recognise you. You're fine. Like
Me, yeah, I'm fine, but
good.
I need to drag your corpses out of there.
That'll be good. That'll be good.
To be fair, Lyco's walking his own corpse in there, so that's fair, right?
Yeah.
Somebody should at least drag it out.
I was an official vest business.
So was Alice. I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, to be fair, if you declare it official vest business, it is. So that's pretty nice.
Alice has been reading the Vest Handbook, which is just if you say it loud enough and just do it, it's fine.
Oh my god! Yes, I know what she's done. She's used the galactic equivalent of carrying a clipboard and looking concerned.
She at least broadcasted in common and Viscarium, or Vesk, I think it's just called. So yeah, it was nice of her.
Covering your bases.
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
extra authenticity, right?
What else happened today? Actually,
Good
can't remember.
question. Lockdown.
Yeah, trying to catch the night up on the time streams was fun.
Yeah,
Since it is.
her revealing what she does and doesn't know was quite fun, because that really, really horribly carefully worded statement she replied to Zig with, that Callum just went, okay. That technically answered all the questions he was about to ask her. Was fun for me, at least, to try and word. So, always nice to get that opportunity.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to EOX.
Me too.
The casualties that we sustained there.
It's been on the conspiracy board for a while, Yox, so I'm quite excited for that. The Kivalari kind of snuck its way in between the timeline, push Yox further back, but I don't think that was a terrible idea, because it bought you some levels, so that's been good. and also fixed your memories a bit, or just added more memories, which is the true way to fix it. And yeah, it's been alright for that, so I'm quite excited for Yox to happen now. Thank you. Anything else, buddy? Are we?
No, that's everything.
Excellent. Colin, Lyko, the one and only,
Hello.
the drifter himself.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. You're probably getting a Colin who is on his certainly C or D game tonight.
Plan C or Plan D, yep.
I may have made some decisions which, had I not been largely brain dead, I may not have made. But the character was drunk, so it fits.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Ironically, I'm stone cold sober this session.
I love the idea, the implication that you were drunk 2 weeks after that event. Still, I love that implication that you just kept drinking.
I mean,
to like,
that didn't not that particular decision. The decision to just immediately book it out possibly was influenced. And you know, it was so good. Sorry, I'm quite tired. But no, I had fun with that. It was definitely a wonky one, and I do apologise for being a bit out of it this session. I do think I may have played Lyko a bit more loosely and carelessly than I normally do. But as I say,
I mean, I don't hate this New Year, New Me vibe the players have. It's
New Year just unbelievably tired me. But
Fair.
no, it was fun. It was fun. Like the solution they came up with and how smoothly it worked. I hadn't even considered the possibility Plan A would work, Ryan. That didn't even cross my mind, I'll be honest with you. And it's not because it was a bad plan, I was just like, alright, things don't go this smoothly, let's just wait and see.
Arguably, Alice's new plan was better, right? Which was
Alice
aggressive.
turns out really
version.
good at this.
Yeah.
Alice should be the protagonist. So yeah, that was good fun, and obviously we've made some nice progress. I always like to get some progress.
Yeah.
And yeah, we put the band back together. Obviously, we did sort of have us back together last time we were all on. But then like, immediately, kind of, we're like, oh, you're getting extensive surgery and recuperating for a fortnight, and you're off doing space business with our guns, and we're on this planet. You know, very quickly the band wasn't so back together. And now we are, and we're going off for one of our big objectives that's kind of been looming in the distance, in the background. Always sort of there, always something that we would, a touchstone that we'd come back to, but never the focus, never the thing, never the thing that we were always, you know, sort of directly working towards, always something that was sort of floating around in the stew. I don't know how many metaphors I'm there.
It's fine.
At least one. And now it is finally sort of, or we are finally rushing headlong towards it. And that's exciting.
Yeah,
I accidentally abducted our friend Tanaida. Sorry.
Yep. Just when she was seeming very herself about things. Yep.
I mean, look, can't all go my way.
True.
Yeah, I had good fun. I look forward to.
I like the directness of just going to the bridge and going, "Oh, set coast at Eox." Just no qualms given. You know, just let's do it.
Yeah, I think at that point, like, it was like, I'm done with this conversation. I just want to go.
Boring conversation anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, no, I think it's nice to have that sort of forward momentum. Because we mentioned at the start, we are going into. It's not been going on for 3 years, but we're now entering our third.
Year 3. Yeah.
Starfinder. Fragments of Eternity, specifically the game, our third year in this game and our third year in the system, and yeah, it's time that we started getting towards this sort of big conclusion. You know, it's time we start making some headway and getting on. Like, how long has Syndio been gone now? Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ages. So it's you know, it's just time, and yeah, it's a coming.
Session 25, by the way, is the answer to that, because that's the one called Choose.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. You know what it is? You know what we are right now? We are in a long hallway with no enemies. And we've just had some pretty tough enemies, but now we're in a long hallway with no enemies. And an autosave has just happened.
There's like a room with some equipment next to it, and you're like,
And we're like, oh. I see where this is going. So yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to get there. I'm excited to see what happens with the Archivist when we do. If we're able to get in there quickly, we might have to do other stuff to sort of finagle our way in. I'm excited for Eox.
Me too.
And officially tired. So I will
Fair.
I will cede control of the pulpit.
How very nice of you.
You're welcome.
57 sessions Sindel has not been in the game. It's
Yeah,
been
that's staggering.
57 sessions since.
That's more than twice as long as he was actually. Not twice as long, even
Yeah.
as he was actually about. That's more than twice as long as the time between him, the game starting and him. It's astounding.
Yeah. I mean, arguably it's 5 times longer than most campaigns get. So, yeah, like, it's crazy. I suppose online helps with campaign length now. Captain, Admiral, Fleet Admiral, God Killer.
Fleet. Yes. The Order. It's a new title they have.
The Order of All Things. Yep.
It was good fun. How the hell we got queerbacks really easily? I don't know. I would say Boris Colin, I can barely speak. I'm not tired.
I wouldn't necessarily say, like, so user front heavy ease doesn't mean back heavy effortless. So just, you know, sometimes doing all the effort up front to fight your way in and take the problem and then leave, and then the trouble was getting there. But sometimes you just get the thing and then you have all the fallout from it, you know? So
I don't care about Darwa. Fuck Darwa.
and I mean, I want to just bring it back to the rating of particle cannon you have on your ship is why you shouldn't really care too much about Durwa as an individual. Not necessarily as a head of a network of some form of a underbelly, obviously. Even if it's just that bar. Like, it's, you know, that could be problematic, but beyond that, meh. He's just a guy.
He just got hockled by the Vesk in his eyes. Like, that's basically what happened.
He did seem unfazed though by the entire event. He just mostly seems to take in the event, whereas everybody else like pulled their weapons and panicked, and he just kind of stood up and just stared at everything. And then yeah, Alice just handled the situation.
I'm sure he's probably witnessed some corporate, like, flipping, stepping on of the people in recent times. It's an hackathon. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I don't imagine there's much that would faze him, given the life of Akatonians, yeah.
It's quite... I mean, the fallout really is that the query's still in the game. It's the main fallout.
I mean, the fallout's nobody's there to watch over Query while you all bugger off.
True.
He's left on Daza. Just depends if Durwa's influence reaches that far.
I'm sure it probably does. Some, like,
I mean, you know.
We'll have to go back. We'll have to go back probably maybe and save his ass again. But
I think it's inevitable we have to go back anyway. We'll have to go back for Ramasetu. We'll probably want to do more stuff involving Edgar at some point.
Sell stuff
I
to
don't think
Bob
there's
if he's finding anything
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly. I don't think there's any avoiding going back. So
yeah,
ultimately, I don't know how much difference it would make.
True that.
It is obviously annoying that we have to worry about the consequences of the Darbo situation, but yeah, he was never going to be a breeze to deal with when we had 2 Nexus about. Anyway, so.
But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good to be in the right area. It's a wee bit unfortunate that the Azov was a wee bit abandoned, but we'll figure that out. Hopefully we won't be in the Yorks for long, because we can't be in the Yorks for long anyway, because we'll die in a horrible negative energy way.
Yeah, like your survivability on the surface of Yox is significantly reduced regardless of what your enviro suits say. Actively hostile terrain, but we'll deal with all
Depends if
that
we're actually going to
detail.
go to habitable places or just
So there's one habitable
straight
place on the Yox.
towards.
There's like one
Okay.
big city that is designed. It's got like a big kind of like, you know, life bubble around it, so that people can actually exist there, or at least when it was maintained and the entire planet wasn't maybe entirely abandoned, because we don't know what's on the planet and what isn't. We just know the Bone Sage is all left with the fleet.
I don't even know why we would want to go there. I think we'd want to just go straight to the archive if we know where it is, right?
Yeah.
It's like, why would I go there? We've already prepared enough in terms of gear and stuff, right? Just
Well, I
to
mean,
get
you've got all
that
your
and
stuff
go.
that you've had, right? There was nothing on the Azure Flare gear-wise, anyway. So everything you would have had would have been on Son's, the Azure Flare, and the 11th hour. Minus those two. Everything else you've had is on.
It's more just leaving the Azure Flare in the middle of space, in the middle of Acton's a wee bit but oh well.
It's fine. You've left it in worse places, like that weird transdimensional existence where nobody knows where it was.
Oh, right, there's like a big steward ship and a fucking bone fleet. Well, it's not bone fleet.
I mean, you're
the
assuming
top
they
fleet.
stayed there for 2 weeks.
I'm calling bone fleet.
Remember, 2 weeks happened after,
True, that's probably
so-
I think I probably about that.
which also means your Kivalari crew on Versus have had at least 2 weeks of treatment as well, so we'll see what happens to them time skip wise. But yeah, no, it was good. As I said, I think you did. It was good work seeing you guys generate a problem very briefly for, you know, Zora and Alice to resolve it in the most Zora and Alice way possible. Just go in, take it back, and leave.
What?
Yeah.
It was to the point, and there was a lot less speaking involved than I was expecting, but I'm cool with it.
I mean, Alice came up with some fun alternative plans and then decided to ditch most of the plans and just went for claim your property. So
don't know. I am here for the prisoner, and I will take him, and you will get paid when we see fit. What? Quite frankly.
I mean, had Alice let you speak, yes, it might have worked. Like, there is an alternative ending to that scene that I was thinking about before I decided just to go with the impulse Alice went with, right? So obviously before we crash landed into the place, my immediate thought, I'll give you this little alt timeline snippet here since there's been a lot of alt timeline stuff, so extra bonus content moment. I was tempted just to have Grinning Durwer pay you to leave when you turned up to negotiate.
Fair enough.
And it would have been significant. And that was an option that I was weighing up, going, yeah, but it's so much more fun to have Alice kind of win in that moment. Because that's more exciting than just use crash land in, then get paid and use just leave and leave query there. Which is, yeah, it's like, I've made my choice. I'm sticking with the timeline that happened. But that was the other idea I had in that moment. Being like, that'd be an interesting thing. Because I had to weigh up the value he has for the fake Nyx 5 that he thinks he has. So yeah. Revenge and reputations may be slightly priceless to Durwa. And maybe that'll bite use in the future, but we're not there yet. Unless Zig jumps ahead.
He might be like pissed off at like Zig and Lyko, that's for sure. I mean, pissed off at me for sure.
I'm just sad they didn't
Just
use
go, like-
fake funny names. It's
Just like, it was pesky, Vesk, and fucking, what are they doing here? Yada yada. Blah, blah, blah.
prisoner reclamation. He was very clear about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no fucks given. Just yep. Anything else, buddy?
No.
We're-
No,
y-
that's
you're,
it. It was-
you're one child's making you proud, and the other one's gone missing. So yeah,
No, I'll leave it sad about that. I'm going to find him.
that's fine. We'll deal with that next week. We'll see what happens.
I know.
It's just, aye. You knew that was going to be an event as soon as you were like,
Yeah,
What's the
as soon as I
concerns?
put the frame shift, that's a dark galaxy.
that's Elite Dangerous.
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
The drift drive, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
once we put that one on back, I was like, yeah, something bad's gonna happen.
I mean, yeah.
We'll deal with that.
Something's going to happen at least, yeah. That's fine.
It's the chief science officer. He's like.
I mean, he has to do science to explore this, right? So it makes sense. Anything else, bud?
Oh, that's it. It's good fun.
Zig.
I'm sorry,
For?
Zig.
You're welcome.
In general, I am sorry.
We've almost ironed out Zig. Right. We're in a timeline. Still.
We are in a timeline for
Right.
like the longest period of time since multiple timelines were a thing.
I try not to think of that way, given that we just had a 2-week
live
time
in a
skip here.
timeline.
Oh yeah, that doesn't count. That was a linear time skip.
Okay. Yeah, there was no take backsies on that one. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh. I love Zig. Zig is amazing, but my god, that boy needs to stop it.
Well,
It
what you
was
need to,
fine this time.
yeah, and at some point you'll need to send Isabel back to make sure you know it's fine this time.
Yeah. I'm really interested. The thing is, because the NIDA doesn't seem to be affected by the time skips in the sense that her memory seems to be of the old timeline or original timeline. It kind of does, beg the question, who else possibly has this, like, old knowledge or new knowledge or old and new knowledge?
My favourite part of that is that you did not ask Tanida until after Lyko got everybody's memories back. And that's my favourite part of that entire thing. 'Cause what would she have said before he fixed it?
I don't know. And yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
So I was like, we'll just wait. We'll wait until Lyko fixes it, and then we'll see if everyone gets their memories back. Assuming that nobody has their memories, but you've done it again. No, it was great. It was really good.
Oh, good.
And it's nice to get everyone back in the same boat. As brief as it will be.
And CC not making it to Yox is the least worrying thing. Right. Like.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Probably for the sake of avoiding having too many NPCs.
It's also just mostly that. That's why I said earlier, like, I am not going to sit and play all of the NPCs on a mission to Death Squad. I'm pretty happy to leave all of them on the ship and have the prime crew be the prime crew. So yeah. Luckily, one is a cube and isn't really going to be that much use on Eox, I guess, anyway.
Jubilee.
Yeah. So that'll be fine.
I think Ivan's going to be part of my preparation for Eox.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Like feeding him constant things so he can get some useful, anti-Eoxian.
All you gotta do is
stuff,
ask.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. Yeah, true. Yep, and apparently jam wires into him and make him play synthwave at you. Yeah. Anything else, bud?
No, it was fun. It was nice to get more weird again. Been missing our mobile artillery unit of bomb making brilliance.
Yup. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was nice. I loved all of it. It was really good.
Good.
It was great. It was great. You did good.
Thank you. Everybody did very well. I thoroughly enjoyed everyone's reactions to the game the break in the middle where everybody just lost their shit laughing, because that's half the fun of doing this job, right? Is seeing everybody actually enjoy the game as it unfolds. Because yeah, I have to admit that tickles me as well. Just the idea of going, well, we're here as the crash land through drink hole, which now actually has a proper hole in it. So there we go.
It pains me how easy that was, but also I'm very happy at how easy that was.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there'd be another 40 sessions of just like
trying to get query back. Yeah, it's sometimes nice to have things happen competently, if you will. Well, thank you all for playing. It was fun. Thank you everybody
for
who
running.
You're welcome. Thank you to everybody who watched or who decides to watch. And assuming how long this game runs for, if there is another 82 sessions, stop me and rescue me from this game. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.